Start.
It's the night of the nights, a time for laughter. We have the guys to filibuster, even though one of them is a jar of mustard. Thank God it's Tuesday. We take a look at comedians, and Charles used to be one. We have a lot to say about comedy. Can you believe Gray is a jar of mustard? And then there's Lapsed. What does he do? And why is here? Thank God it's Tuesday.
Okay, that's the first time I saw that thing. That's awesome.
Likewise. So you found a at least 20-year-old clip of me. I don't want to know how. I had nothing to do with that footage of me from at least 20 years ago. Welcome everyone. This is what, the second official episode of Thank God It's Tuesday. I am Charles, the lapsed comedian. To my screen right is Gray Poupée, the jar of mustard. Sir, what's up with you?
Hey, just chilling, in the fridge, because I'm a condiment. But yeah, good times, man. Excited to be here. And yeah, I think this is the second time, but we've all talked comedy a little bit elsewhere. But, there's something special about this.
Yeah, under an official umbrella of sorts. It's good. Tuesday's the best night for comedy. We all know that. And at screen bottom is Lapsed Comic Fan. Sir, you watched more comedy than I thought. I watched the most comedy this week, and apparently you outdid me. So what else did you do this week?
Physical therapy. I had nothing else to do. I was kind of stuck. So it was either, do some of that, and I went down the rabbit hole of rabbit holes with our topic people today. So, some of it was good, kind of, and then a lot of it was not.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we'll get to that.
Since us rewatching the Brendan Shaw video, my algorithm's been sending me like all types of. I didn't realize there were so many like stand-up comedy tea videos on YouTube, or maybe it's just the way the algorithm works. But there's a lot of like, these people are fighting in Austin versus the world. And I was just like, very, very weird. And I couldn't help but think, again, this is me and my 5-year frozen caveman brain. Some of these people, I don't know them as comedians. So I issued a question to you guys, a rhetorical thesis piece for you guys. If you had to ask a normie based on what these people are popular for, how many people in the Rogan sphere would you say are known as comedians to the public? And I guess I asked that because some of them are podcast people. Some of them are, television people. Some of them are social media people. But I would say as far as the public is concerned, you would, gamble guessing that the public would know them as a comedian. Like Theo Vaughn, I didn't know he was a comedian. I just knew him from That Weekend or whatever, like his podcast show. So I don't think I've seen any of his stand-up. I've seen plenty of clips of his podcast stuff. And last year, a lot of them hosted a certain presidential candidate, and that kind of got them into the public eye. But I don't know if stand-up would be the thing that I would say people know them for.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So I would say yes, most of them. I don't know the extensive list that you have. If you have some more like Duncan Trussell's or whatever, they might be a little bit deeper of a poll. But your Theo Vaughns, your Burt Kreischers, your Tom Segura's, yeah, I mean, they're all headliners. Burt's got one of the biggest comedy tours going. He just goes from like stadium to stadium, and it's like a party. He has other business ventures and stuff. But yeah, man, I think people definitely know them as comedians. But one of the kind of the best ways to showcase comedy is kind of the podcast.
Y-
It seems like
y-
every comedian basically has a podcast now.
Yeah, yes, but to kind of counter that, there's a YouTuber that my wife watches quite a bit. His name is Curtis Connor. He's been doing stand up and he released a special to YouTube, and it's a little clear to me that comedy is not his first
Yeah.
love.
I hear you. I think the normies would know a lot of the Rogan sphere because I think they are a lot of the bigger names. They are kind of doing the bigger tours. They are almost
But
all of them have a Netflix special or show of some kind.
but is that
And then
because
their
of their
podcasts are huge.
is that because of their popularity through the Rogan sphere, through the podcast? Like it seems like certainly these clubs, these venues are like, this guy's got this many followers on his podcast. Give him stage time. A young lady I watched
the
last
comedy
night.
came first. I
Yes.
hear what you're saying. There's definitely a lot of people who kind of went from podcasts to, okay, now let's do a stage show. Like Adam Carolla is kind of one of those. Like he wasn't a stand-up before, and he was doing Loveline. He was a
Mhm.
radio TV host. He did like Man Show, but he wasn't in comedy clubs. And then after he got a big following, he then brought that to a live show. And it's still he kind of plays games from his shows. Steve-O's kind of another one who kind of brought his fame to comedy. He's worked hard at it. I'm not going to say he's like the comedian's comedian or anything like that.
Well,
I have never paid to go to one of his shows or
Eh,
watch it, but
I guess what I'm saying is if you offer someone an hour of time to be entertained by this person, how often are people saying, "Yeah, give me their stand up," or
I
would they
think
be saying,
more than you'd
"Yeah,
think.
okay"?
Segura and Kreischer are huge names. Tony Hinchcliffe, like man, Kill Tony's huge. Like he sold out Madison Square Garden, I think 3 nights in a row. These are kind of some of the bigger names, but you do have to be kind of in that sphere of comedy. If you're an alt comedy, yeah, this isn't going to be your cup of tea. These aren't dudes who are usually coming to clubs anymore. It is kind of, unfortunately, like arena events. So I don't know. But based off of that, a lot of people are going to them, man. They're arena selling out comedians.
So I could say this. For me personally, I knew who Tom Segura was before I had seen him a lot on Rogan. I knew who Ari Shaffir was before I even knew any of that stuff. Some of the other guys, like I knew the Machine story from Bert Kreischer, but I don't think that certain guys were nearly as popular because if you watch like the original Machine story, that's in a club. You watch
Mhm.
Well,
it didn't seem
Rogan
what's that?
kind of made him. Rogan kind of made him do that. But you knew Bert Kreischer's story before that. You're familiar with Van Wilder, right?
Yes, I did know his
He is the
story.
basis for Van Wilder. So, he's the party animal.
Yeah, I did know their story, but I don't know if their comedy, their stand-up comedy got them to the giant dance like Tom. Yes, because I knew of him and I saw his progression go from like clubs to bigger things than arenas to special to whatever. But like some of them, like it just felt like they were comedians first, got on
Mhm.
that show, then all of a sudden because they were there and people knew who they were, then they got the bigger venue. I'm not saying all of them, obviously,
Mhm.
but it's like some of them have done that. Where I knew who Joey Diaz was for years off of a random clip from YouTube because I was like, isn't that the guy from Spider-Man 2? I was like, isn't that the that, like
Also the longest yard.
You're not getting past us, that guy. It's like that's weird. And then I saw his nutsack, and I was like, why am I seeing this man's nutsack, and why is it literally on the floor? And I don't know. I could see where you're coming from because if I did ask like my wife or someone who doesn't follow comedy, she would probably say I've seen him in a movie or I've saw him on a TV show. She might not know that they're an actual comedian like that does stand up.
Yeah.
Not
I-
all
I-
of them. Like I said, the big ones, yes.
Well,
but
Kind of
some of
though.
the
Like
other
Theo
ones.
Vaughn came from Road Rules. I think that was what he was on with Christina P, who
Yes.
is Tom Segura's wife.
Yes.
Tom Segura, I know he's cut his teeth for like over 15 years. I remember listening to him on local radio when he would come into like the
Yeah.
comedy clubs.
Yeah. I knew him before Rogan and stuff like that. There was a couple that
Then
I
you've
did.
got Bert, who basically he sold his story to Rolling Stone, and
Yes.
that essentially spun off and became Van Wilder. I don't know, man. Like all these guys were in entertainment or something, and then they kind of went to comedy. But man, all of these are decades in there.
Yeah. So
I don't feel like anyone's like new to this that kind of undeservingly got it, except for Schaub, the guy that we watched last week.
and that's where I come in. Listen, 5 years is a very long time, but in comedy, it's like a third of your arc cycle. And for me to not know most of these people is kind of startling to me. Granted, from what I understand, most of them were LA guys and are apparently now Austin guys. There's a handful that I know, don't get me wrong, but to be completely oblivious as a road comic, kind of, I don't know. Like I've never crossed paths with at least 75% of this list we're going to be talking about today.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like what you were talking about, like you were in the business, you didn't know of them, and then you watch something from them, and they're in arenas.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
if 5 years, like you said, that's not. Would you think if even if you were solid, right, and good, do you think you would be even? I know they were there before 5 years. I understand this. They might have been doing it for, but do you think from that 5 years of not knowing who that person was to now, you would be in the same position if it wasn't for someone as say Joe Rogan or being on podcasts now? The benefit has to be the podcast,
Right. I
in my
think
opinion, even though they were comedians. Yes.
I think there are lightning in a bottle cases like Dane Cook in the early 2000s. He got big fast. But he was doing colleges for a little bit and something happened where he caught on. And like, I think the internet helps, like very much so. Cause I think Dane Cook had a very strong presence on MySpace. That helped. So there's this, intangible item that like, I don't know how important it is to success in today's day and age. TikTok, I'm just oblivious to what comedy is on TikTok. But that's the other thing. A TikTok crowd traditionally won't go to a comedy club. So that's the other thing. The same problem movie theaters are having now. I would assume is an issue with clubs because movie theaters are down. Are clubs down? I mean, I understand arena shows are one thing, but the Chuckle Hut with the two. Go on.
It might be locational, but man, the comedy club that I go and see at, they actually just opened up 2 new rooms. Now they've got like essentially like the headliner room, kind of the middle room. They've basically got, and then they've got the open mic room for like the locals. It's kind of cool. But they weren't doing that years ago. It seems like there's a boom, and it seems like there's somebody, and they also were able to like tier the price of tickets that way. So you can kind of find out what kind of draw you are as a comedian now. So challenge.
They're scaling the prices.
Yeah, depending on which room you're in. So that's kind of fun. And then I hear about new clubs kind of being built everywhere. They just built the new casino back east. Now I'm forgetting which one, but supposedly that's got a huge comedy room to it too. Man, it's kind of a boom. I think people are choosing to spend their money for some more kind of live entertainment. I don't know. It might just be me, but then there's also every major headliner that you can think of is now doing stadium tours. Like I don't know, seeing Bill Burr in arena, that would be awesome, but there's nothing like seeing him at a club.
So Bill Burr's, that's another one where he was doing this shit in the 90s. So he had a very steady, long grow. I think it's a little bit different to the natural, the organic way to grow rather than, I know this person on a podcast. Let's go watch them instead of Metallica and Slayer.
Well, like we were saying, back then there was no internet, social media, all those things. And Dane Cook, like I said, that what I remember, because this is how ridiculous I was back in like 2005 or 6. You remember the TV show Lost? Remember that show?
Yes. Yes.
Me and my brother actually had a. This is before podcasts were like big. I could even show you the website. It's still up for some reason. We had a podcast about that show.
Nice.
And like we had a MySpace, and that's how I heard of Dane Cook. But I saw Dane Cook on Premium Blend, and he was one of the young guys that would
Comics Come Home.
Right. So that's how I heard of him. It feels like now, like, and we were talking about that last week off air, like the shows like Comic Strip Live, all of these other shows that they just don't have anymore. I think the way now, I'm not in the business, so I don't know. I can only say from what I see. It's got to be way different now, because everybody who has access to the internet can see it, what everybody else sees. It's not like you don't have cable, you only have over the air television, you know? So it's like, there's got to be something like Matt Rife, right? Like Matt Rife. I had no idea who the hell that guy was for the longest time.
Oh, there's gonna be a
idea.
future episode. Just wait, because so he just released a holiday crowd work special. I think he's doing something there that it seems like it's from another type of entertainment. But yeah, I think that's a future thing we got to dig into.
So what I was saying, like I started seeing little YouTube shorts of him, or like on Facebook, and I would see him and I'd be like, who the hell's that? So if I'm seeing that, right, you got to think of how many other people are also seeing that. And then the people that are looking for comedy, how many people, like you said, with your algorithm on YouTube, you watch the one thing and then all of a sudden this. So it's got to be the internet as well. Like, has to be huge for that. It might skip you a lot of the milestones and work that you had to do
absolutely
back in the 90s. So
yeah, because even like I would, YouTube was, I mean, that clip that you ripped, that's a clip on YouTube. So like I wasn't completely, locked out from the modern age, but I did not have a presence. I didn't have a MySpace page. I didn't have any of that stuff. So, I might have cost myself in some regard, but I don't know. I think if I were to get back into it now, it feels like you need like a 4-pronged approach. Like, this is your stand-up, this is your TikTok thing, this is your, Instagram, your X, and here's your YouTube stuff. It feels like it's not just stand-up anymore. And I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's all forms of storytelling, it feels like now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just joke, you know what I mean? Like how it was like stand-up went from joke to setup to joke to setup. I mean, there's guys like I said, I watched the newest Bert Kreischer one, Lucky. The jokes all came from stories. There wasn't like just a regular joke. So I think it's more of an entertainment form as well, because like you could see that like how Gray was talking about how he got to Van Wilder, he sold his story to Rolling Stone, and that's exactly what it seems like, even in the specials, that it's doing. Where before, you remember, you would tell jokes to get to a wider audience. Now it's like, can we make a movie out of this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, Bert Kreischer kind of made a career of selling stories, though. Supposedly, he also sold stories to Jay Moore about.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I mean, all these guys have been doing it for a while. I don't know if any of it's necessarily unearned. It's just not my cup of tea. But I think all of them have kind of earned it, except for Rogan, man. I'm just not a big fan. So I rewatched, and I think Lapsed also did. We made a big deal of talking about like a live comedy special, and kind of the one that comes to mind is Netflix most recent one, Burn the Boats, Joe Rogan's live stand-up special, where man, I forgot most of it, and I wish I could again.
Dude, it wasn't good. It was not good.
He hits a wall with a couple of punchlines where he's just kind of like, it's just jokes, folks. Like, oh, on a special you're saying that. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some kind of funny premises in there, but I
Sure.
don't know. Um,
So
when you look at like all of his kind of contemporaries, like man, they are knocking it out of the park a lot
I
better.
I I have a question to both of you because
Okay.
something that I've seen since I've been suggested all this Rogan sphere stuff is a lot of talking about being canceled and being able to say the things you want to say. That was going on when I was still on stage. At what point does doing jokes about cancel culture, at what point is that hack? Because yes, cancel culture. Yes, what the hell are transes? But like, you're still doing it. All of you are doing the same shit. Like you're the new age version of airport security. Like, what else is there to say about being canceled?
I mean, so much. It's wow. Okay. I thought I commented that 3 times, then I realized that was not just me. Good thinking, Labs. Uh, so I mean, like you think back to like Lenny Bruce, like he was getting canceled for
Literally arrested.
comedy.
Little different.
Well, a little bit.
A
Well,
lot
you
of
look
it.
at
he lived
Carlin,
during
like
the time when the world was black and white. You know, there was
yeah,
no color
that's
back
true.
then.
Well, he wanted to change that with his colorful language.
Mhm.
And a lot of it seems tame today, but he was literally pushing the line so that, comics could actually go a little bit further. Same thing with Carlin. I think that's what a lot of these cancel culture guys are trying to do, or people saying that they got canceled. I don't know. I just love Patrice's thing. Like, he's going to defend the attempt, and that's what I want to do with all these.
That's
If it's
fine.
funny and there's an attempt at a joke, I'm all for it, man.
Sure.
I,
But
I think people are getting canceled, but look at Louis.
Eh.
He did some of the worst shit out there. Look at Chris D'Elia. He was literally found like texting minors and making them put his initials on them. It's
mm,
it's strange. They seem to have careers again. I don't think people are getting canceled for real.
right,
But
right. That's
man,
my
I'm
point.
okay with them talking about it.
Like if you're talking about being canceled, not being allowed to say the things you want to say from your $200 million compound, I'm sorry, I don't believe the shit you're saying. You're doing just fine. If anything, Spotify said we're going to do the opposite of canceling you.
100%. And Netflix too. They did it with Dave
Right.
Chappelle. They took the stand. I mean, people walked out of like thought they were gonna, get this taken off, and they were like, "No, you can leave." Like,
Yeah.
see ya.
Like, I mean, listen. I understand for the sake of the gimmick, leaning into something and making it seem like it's a bigger deal, but you can say whatever you want. Still, it's just whether or not people react to it is what cancel culture is. You can't
know
just
what
go on.
No,
Go
go
on.
ahead. Sorry. No,
No,
go
no.
ahead. Finish.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
You know what it felt like? Remember when we were talking about how we were talking about Hicks, and we were saying like even though his observations are old, like it's dated, it's still fun. It felt like they were talking in dated material, but it was happening today.
Right.
Is that
Right.
did you feel that? Because that's how
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
I feel about it. And I understand. Listen, I get from the comedy perspective, right? Things have changed. I get that. But you also have to, it's also individual enjoyment out of what you're getting from it, right? So
Yeah.
if you feel that's what it is, then that's what it is to you. So I don't know if there's a universal consensus on when something is old enough not to talk about, but I feel the same way that you do with the cancel stuff. Cause it's
Yeah.
like, dude, you cannot cancel someone who doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
You could just
Right.
now if you take away their platform, yeah, possibly, but people that book comedians like money, and if that person's still drawing money,
Right.
they're gonna do it.
Yeah. I was asked to.
Now. I'm saying right now.
Right. I was asked to not perform again in State College, Pennsylvania. I used that as something on like if I was booking myself, it was something of a, ooh, this guy's edgy. Like that's something that people used to lean into. Dice used to lean into that
Well,
quite
yeah.
a bit.
I mean, Bad Brains had the whole like banned in DC thing. Like it
Right.
is a badge of honor. I probably would have done a riff off that and tried to advertise myself that way. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but
I just
today
got
it's like,
banned from establishments.
Yeah, like the cancel culture's got me. Like you couldn't say the C word. You could, but if you said it, you were probably, not asked back to a club. So you could say whatever you want, but people are going to react a certain way. It just feels like a bunch of crybabies. Like I don't know. Everyone screaming back in their own little comedy town. I don't know. To remind you, I've been suggested nothing but Rogan Sphere content.
Well,
The
good.
algorithm got me.
This
so
is the
I
week
have,
for that.
I have 16 comedians that I will present to you guys and the audience, and I'd like you to plead your case for whether or not these people are comedians or celebrities. And by celebrities, I mean,
Oh.
social media presence, podcast, or whatever.
I'm ready for this. I'm excited for
And,
this.
and
One thing, I feel like I've been a little harsh on Joe Rogan and the Burn the Boat special. I do want to say that it is a live special, so it's like I don't know how fresh the material is going to be. You're probably going to rehearse the hell out of it just so that you can get it right, because they're taping this live special thing and then broadcasting it on Netflix live as well. There's a couple of funny bits in there. I think the part where he addresses like his attempted cancellation, where somebody did that whole like N-word compilation because he thought it was funny when like addressing like prior albums or songs by certain people to actually use the word. And apparently, yeah, there's like an 8-minute video of him just saying that. But I thought his observation on that was really hilarious, and that is kind of a cancel culture bit. But again, if you have like 8 minutes of him saying like the most offensive word, and he's still out there, I don't think cancel culture exists.
Yeah, there's a movie from
right.
1997 called Private Parts, and it's about Howard Stern's journey through radio. And he, as much as they wanted to try to cancel him, he actually got more famous because of it. So I think talent supersedes any sort of restriction.
Yes, and the thing with the Rogan part though, with the racial slur thing was, so I used to watch his really old shows when it was like him on his couch with Brian Redband, and he was just saying it to say it. Like it wasn't like very rare. Like in the beginning, it was like, oh, I can say this word on this platform that you see what I mean? Like it wasn't like I don't know. It didn't feel like he was saying it as like a description or using it in a way that's like non-offensive. Does that make sense? Like he was just saying it to fucking say it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
A lot
of the old to those super early ones.
A lot of the old ones.
Earliest I heard was when he was at like the Ice House.
Okay, yeah. No, like, so if you watch like a lot of his really, really old stuff, and it would literally start the same way every time. Are we on Redband? Are we? Is it? Can you hear us, everybody? It was like that for like the first like 50 shows.
Oh, so we have a bar to meet. So that's good. We have
a
some
little
time.
bit.
We have a little bit of time to get things figured out.
But that's,
I will say, news radio rocked.
Yeah,
that is not stand up.
But you know what's funny? News radio started on Tuesday.
All right, so we're going to start doing sitcom-based stuff.
we're gonna all live in a house together. It's be the worst odd.
We got to adopt a little baby girl or a trio of children.
Oh God,
that was a really weak Full House reference.
Or 3 Men and a Baby, but we can't have a ghost in our window. Can't have it. Can't do that.
Weird.
Right? Is that weird? But yeah,
I think so.
So back to that, it's like I agree with you. Like I've always had that you can't cancel someone who doesn't give a shit, but it's also really hard to cancel really, really rich people. It's very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And they're all really, really rich now.
Yeah, Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, and Joe Rogan crying about being canceled. I don't have a violin to play for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No.
And I love Chappelle. I like
all of them. It's just I'm not buying that. That milk's gone bad. I'm not buying that milk. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Especially whenever like every company that you're with sides with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's kind of hard. And also there's, there used to be this thing where like comedians, like I felt like this could just be me. I felt like they were regular people. Like they were almost like, yeah, they were comedians, but they were
Relatable.
relatable. A lot of these dudes now, like when you see them on their podcast and they're just talking about all the millions that they like, this is how ridiculous one show was I was watching, and it was I can't remember who it was. It might have been Bert Kreischer, and he was talking about like how he had done really well and he wanted to give himself a little, present. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like, I'm thinking like, if for me,
An
it would be
island.
something. Yeah. And he was like, so I got the Mercedes and the Rolex. And I'm like,
Ugh. And
Dude,
so you,
that's
so you
that's
got like
nothing
two-
though. Like
but you got
him
like
and Tom Segura, they did a gift exchange. Like one of them got like a race car, the other one got Hitler's teacup. Like it is fucking crazy, man.
that's what that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, you bought like 2 houses and like, half of a mortgage, and we're just like, oh, that's cool. Like,
so
I don't know. It's just not as relatable. Like, I don't know if it's cool to feel so under somebody as opposed to
Mm.
where you used to be able to look up to that person. You felt like they were going through the struggle. Now, obviously, they were making money. Obviously, comedians were making
Sure.
money because a lot of them would go into movies or something. But
Mhm.
usually, your favorite stand-up guy, if he didn't have, the going to the pilot, which was the thing that they tried to do 80s and 90s. Now it's like, I have a yacht and this is where my whole headquarters is
Yeah.
located.
Yeah, it used to be like a merch table in the back of the club.
Correct.
Now it's it's a website. I'm sorry. I need to circle back. Gray, who was gifted a Hitler teacup?
Oh, you
Because-
didn't hear about that? That's a fun clip. Yeah, Bert Kreischer was given a Hitler's teacup by Tom Segura for a Christmas gift.
see that like it's one thing to be counterculture and trying to test people's boundaries. It's another thing to being gifted something.
I mean, it was from
the
like his
Third
summer
Reich.
estate or something.
Oh
It's
well,
not.
I mean, if it's not his daily cup, then that's forgivable, I guess. I think part of it is if you're testing boundaries and what you're saying is profound, people usually look into the art itself, like, oh, that's really challenging. Yeah, that's quite funny. But if it just feels like you're saying, "Derp trans people," what is that? Like there's no
Yeah.
quality to that. There needs to like you could push boundaries, find the line that's fine and everything, but it's got to be profound in some way. It needs to feel like it was worth that risk.
Yeah. If you're going to one of those areas, like it better be worth it. And
Right.
for me, I will totally defend what Chappelle is doing in his bits, but man, I really kind of hated Rogan's chunk on trans in this one. It just, I
Yeah.
don't know. It came off really hack to me.
Yeah. And
I'll still defend it. Like there's a way that you can make that funny. I just don't think he did.
what was first? Was it Rogan's Burn the Boats or was Brian Callen's?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say the Chappelle thing. I apologize for jumping in. I think Rogan's was it December of last year? It was 2024. Which Callen one? The
one where
Gods
he ends with Apple? He does
I
this
want to say
he does this bootleggy I can't believe it's not Carlin bit where he closes with and we're all looking at the apple. And it's not a strong bit where he's like trying to put this big thing together from his entire show that, the cell phone is, I think he was trying to make the comparison to the Bible. And
yeah.
it's not strong.
I'm trying to remember which one that was. I don't think that was a special from this year. I think that was the one from last year. I think they're both from the same year.
Yeah, that's odd. Like if I went to the mothership and saw Rogan doing that and then Callen doing that, it like in Austin, which is like Texas's Seattle, that much material based on that feels redundant. Certainly
Yeah.
not challenging.
I mean, there's so many specials out on YouTube right now, and
Mm,
it seems like a good portion of them choose to kind of film their set at the mothership if they
mhm.
get the option. It is making things look very uniform, and it kind of seems very standard. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I think there's something special to a special. Yeah, like I
I would
love it if
hope.
there's kind of a gimmick and there's some sort of editing going on. I kind of barely went into why I think Discount Meat is one of my favorite ones. So it's Doug Stanhope. It's from the beginning of this year or like maybe December of last year. It's right around that period. I know I watched it a little around Christmas last year. Man, there's some choices with kind of the cinematography, so to speak, and then ways that they kind of display it. I haven't necessarily seen a special like that before.
Well, well, hold that thought. We can get to
Okay.
cinematography. There's someone on this list that
Noise.
we've all watched at least one of their specials, and we'll get to that when that person comes up. But Laps, I need you to there you go. All right. So first
Okay.
on the list is Mr. Tom Segura. I would agree that I think he's a comedian, and as far as the normies are concerned, he's probably thought of as a comedian before being a celebrity. But Gray, Tom Segura.
I'd say 100% comedian. I don't know if it was quite 20 years ago, but I know I used to hear this dude on the radio. The one place that I used to work at always had the Bob and Tom show on. He would go in there constantly. I remember his awesome like Michael Jackson wannabe album. He's just always been kind of in that scene. I love his stories from This Can't Be Happening.
Mm.
Man, Tommy Buns is awesome. I think he is the one of the strongest, if not the strongest in this bunch. But it's not just straight up stand up. Man, if you dig sketch at all, he just released a Netflix one that is over the top. It does not go where you kind of think it would go. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've heard a lot of people kind of trash it, but man, they again do some cinematic things. I think he's got a chance. And then the fact that he does these just hilarious videos. There's a response to Bert where he does a Missy Elliott dance. It is amazing and kind of freaky and just I dig it.
Is that stand up or is that produced?
It's
Because
hilarious. I
is it
think he is a
stand up or is
funny
it
guy.
produced?
And whether he's on Your Mom's House or he's on the
Listen,
stage,
leave my mother out of
that
this.
dude's a comedian. I'm just saying, I love everything that he does. The thing that I love least is Two Bears, One Cave, the podcast that he does with Bert Kreischer. Just Bert, man, he talks way too much.
Okay, so you're talking about your personal preference, but as far as
My personal preference, but I think the world sees him as a headliner. He sells out arenas, man.
okay, lapsed.
He's a comedian. I knew of him way before the Rogan stuff. I had heard his comedy on what the fuck was that radio? The Yahoo Radio. What was that called?
Oh my god.
Do you remember that, Gray? The Yahoo Radio stations.
I do, but I could not tell
I
you
can't
any of their
remember.
names.
I had heard him on there. Definite. I would say comedian for sure. He's because he's done whether the podcast thing, which is what everybody does. Feels like he went the natural progression of he was doing clubs to there, and he does stuff like Gray talked about that is produced and has shows and stuff like that, where it felt like that's what a comedian would do. You know, like back whenever I was younger, it was like they get the pilot and then go from there. You know,
Yeah.
like so he does it. I would say he's a comedian for sure.
No, I agree. Like this is one of the few names on this list that I don't know if we've ever been in the same state at the same time, but I've been at clubs where he's been there the week before or a month later. So that's my personal experience. That's not me saying, hey, person off the street, is this person a comedian or a podcast host? But I would agree.
He was grinding at it for decades, for
Right.
sure. That dude put the work in.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Next, the machine. Bert Kreischer.
Yeah. So I think he can be funny, but I think he's a personality essentially. Like he's the life of the party. He is the party. He's the machine. As Labs pointed out, he's a storyteller. I
Mhm.
don't know that that's necessarily a comedian, but then they kind of tried to parlay that into a movie, again called The Machine, which is telling his story, that same machine story. Um, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't find myself laughing at his comedy a shitload, but he does this tour that is kind of amazing. He brings a busload of comedians, and it's some of the better comedians. A lot of them are kind of headliners, but since they're selling out a stadium, they're all willing to play this same gig. It's kind of an amazing experience. I think he's more of a showman. He would be a great host. Speaking of that, he has a cooking show. I think that's the most entertaining he is to me when
Mhm.
he's for no reason shirtless, but he's cooking and he's just
So
touching everything and
this cooking
concerning
show
everyone.
is
Yeah,
it done
I'm
in
sorry.
comedy clubs? It's done in comedy
It is
clubs, this
not.
cooking show? Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I think people would connect him to comedy because he has one of the biggest comedy tours. Again, it just goes like baseball stadium to baseball stadium.
Mhm.
I think the world would see him as a comedian. To me, he's best not as a comedian.
Okay,
He's more of a celebrity.
okay. Lapsed.
Entertainer.
I
Not a, I don't
agree.
look at him as a comedian. Like I know that's he does stand up on a stage and does his stories, but I think of him more as an entertainer.
Yeah,
He's a good
yeah,
audience, man. He laughs a lot, and it's really loud.
yeah, I just there's a clip, from was it the Tom Brady roast?
Mhm.
Where you could see that he's reading along with the joke. It was
Was the
unfortunate to see him mouthing the joke, and,
was the
it
Tom
wasn't
Brady one the one where him and Tom did like a bit together? Am I
well, I don't know.
misremembering that?
I
There's
I'm
like the
going
worst thing ever that they both did on a roast, and it is just horrible. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to step over the
no,
mouthing the jokes.
no, so he wasn't
Yeah.
telling a joke, but he was, like, sitting mouthing the joke, and then,
Yep.
um, I don't like, that's I can't perform like that. I can't act like something's funny if I know it's coming, like, but I'm not selling out stadiums, so, money changes things, that's for sure. But I think the public would think of him as a comedian and be really disappointed because of everything else that he does. Like, this is all I know of him, shirt off. It's all I know of him, like,
I
genuinely.
mean, that's kind of his personality, that and drinking. But
Yeah,
the problem is he might bring like 5 really good comedians with him, and then, hey, that's a party.
No, that's a great show. That's why I think of him as an entertainer.
yeah, yeah, so he's the Don King of, comedians is what you're saying.
I mean, I feel like he's yeah, okay. He gets a good percentage of it.
I
Maybe that's what I'm saying.
So, as far as normies are concerned, because I think we're a little broken on this, are we saying normies think he's a comedian or,
I
an
think so
entertainer?
because it's seriously like sold out baseball stadiums of people for all these, but they are seeing really big names with him on these tours. So
Yeah. So keep that
I
thought in
think
mind
they'll
because
see him
I'll
as comedian.
I'll challenge that when someone else that does tours comes up because I have a reason for challenging that. But all right. Um, nope. I have to go up. Come on. Ryan Callen.
Uh, I don't know if most people know his name is the
He's got a
problem.
microphone.
They've probably seen him on a bunch of different things. I know he was on some of the early seasons of Mad TV.
Mhm.
Um, I I dig the dude. I like seeing him. I think he's very engaging, but for me personally, the laughs are he could be funnier. I don't know. He's great at performing, and
I'm
he's
not asking you to grade the comedian.
I understand. I'm doing that though. It is my choice to do this. I don't think a lot of people know who he is, but he's certainly got the performance of a comedian. I think he's trying that. So I don't know. I think
So,
that those who know
no.
who he is would probably say he's a comedian, but I don't think he's I don't think he's quite as big as some of the other ones.
If you're a normie,
Actor.
are you so Laps? You're saying actor, celebrity,
I
not comedian.
Well, I know he's done comedy for a very long time.
Mhm.
I know that. But if you're talking about just normal people, they would probably know him more on guest spots of sitcoms and more famous shows.
Yeah, like that dude in Hangover. He's that guy at the
Right. Like I know he's a comedian, but that's only because I've looked at his stuff. If we're talking just like you said, normal people, and that's the other reason why I said like for Bert, like if I asked my wife or like my buddy John, who's done shows with us, he would tell you I know Bert from like seeing clips of him on YouTube doing like the podcasts, and I know him from the movie. They might not know specifically that he's a comedian.
right.
That doesn't mean that there's a shitload of people that do know him as a comedian. I just don't know where the variance of normie meets, regular person.
I think in a shitty way, I was saying the same thing. I think most people don't know who he is, but those who do probably recognize him from something other than comedy.
I think actor for sure for Brian Callen.
I'll put a cherry on top of all of that, and I'll say I would venture a guess that most people would be like, "Who's that?" If you just gave them a name, they'd be like, "Who?"
Yeah. They would probably say, "Who is that?"
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
Okay. Oh, down. I got to go down, not up. Hey, his cohort on Fighter and the Kid. It's Brendan Schaub.
I really hope the public does not consider him a comedian. I don't think many people do. I definitely I don't personally. Again, he's an entertainer. He can talk shit to Mike Tyson apparently, but
we have something in common. We've both stopped though, so we're known for stopping, him and I.
Yeah, I look at Brendan Schaub as unfortunate accident from trying to help someone. Rogan, like they tried to help him get out of fighting, and it was an unfortunate accident that the way they helped him by telling him, "You're funny. You should try stand up." And he was like, "Fuck, I am funny. I'm doing it." And it was like, no.
Yeah. I think normies would think of him as a podcast guy, a celebrity, not a comedian.
UFC guy. Yeah.
Right. But I think the internet, like the shit posting end of things, knows him as a gringo poppy, exclusively for the lulz. Let's laugh at his comedy.
Right. But I think also that came from The Fighter and the Kid, though, originally. I think that's like you're saying, like, I think more people, they would know of that special because of those things. So I think you're right. You're definitely right. But I think that's why that they know that. Because I remember it very clearly because I saw that episode of Rogan when they were doing it, when they talked about, and he still had a couple fights after that. Right. And
is that the "you'd be surprised" exchange where
where he was like, "Yeah, you'd be surprised," and he's like, "No, I think you'd be surprised."
Yeah.
I think he had one fight after that, or one or two, I can't remember exactly, but it was soon after he was done where he was starting to get into like telling jokes where people could have stopped him because he would talk about the material he's writing. Right?
Throw in the towel.
Like he would talk about on the shows like Rogan or Fighter and the Kid or other, like the jokes and stuff that he's writing. And they would be like, "Yeah, I've heard it, man. Wait till he's out there. You're going to shock people." And it was like, no.
I think if you're under the wing of Rogan and those guys who are known for being comedians, they couldn't help him polish some stuff. You couldn't help him punch up some stuff before throwing it out into the world.
Chocolate chip cookies with salsa on it. I mean, how do you not think that is gold? I'm Mexican cookies, my friend.
I'm hoping he didn't run any of those jokes past anyone. Ugh.
Like authentic Mexican food, like pico de gun.
Yeah, let me lick the mic.
Let me lick the microphone and talk. You know those things like where you watch something and you don't laugh, but then you could talk about it with your friends and you just laugh like
Yeah.
hysterically.
Yeah.
The part when he was talking about how he hated his wife and all that stuff, and then being on lockdown with the bros, and then it's like, oh, come to think of it, like, why don't we just bang? Like that's not something you thought about with your wife. It's only the thing you thought about with being with other men. Like, what the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah, the best part of that special was when it ended.
Oh, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, it's an experience. I'm glad we shared it. It's something we'll always have. But I hope the vast majority of the public does not see him as a comedian.
Yeah.
That's where I'd put all in on that.
Celebrity.
Yep.
Oh, down. I gotta go down. Ari
Oh, I
Shafir.
hope. So he is the strongest out of the Rogan sphere for me. Love me some Ari Shafir. Dude does funny things that aren't in comedy, like The Amazing Racist was just awesome. The fact that he's the president of Legion of Skanks, hell yeah. But man, Jew is just hands down one of the most beautiful and amazing comedy specials I've ever seen. It's available on YouTube. Go see it if you haven't. But Ari Shafir, he's the man. I like his most recent one. And then he just took a hiatus and is out of the country for like a year or something like that. But he will be missed, and hopefully he comes back soon with an awesome special. Comedian all the way.
Yeah, comedian.
That is okay. So we're talking normies. Normies think of him as a comedian.
Oh yeah, he's been in this forever. I remember before. I remember Amazing Racist. I remember clips of his stand-up, like where Mencia stole his joke. Like I remember seeing that stuff because I actually saw him on what's not Premium Blend. What was the other half hour one?
Comedy Central Presents.
Comedy Central Presents.
Yeah,
I saw him on there. Like
for sure. And then he got This Can't Be Happening and had his own show on there.
Yeah.
But he's, he is one of those comedians that's super out there. There was the whole Kobe thing that it almost got him killed like immediately. He got a lot of death threats after that. Kind of had to move coast for a bit. He has always been known as like a comedian that's willing to push boundries.
Push boundaries.
At sure. He's done naked roasts a bunch at Skankfest for some reason. He just like defecated on the stage. He's kind of like the G.G. Allen. There's legends.
I was about to say committing his inner G.G. Allen. Like,
yeah. So anyway, I think everybody knows him as comedy and notorious, infamous, kind of dangerous comedy.
So Gray, explain. I feel like there are times that like you're like a diehard when it comes to comedy and shit. Explain to the uninitiated, also known as me, what Skankfest is.
Oh, Skankfest is the greatest comedian. It's like Comic-Con, but it's a 3-day oasis. People have compared it to like the Coachella of comedy. Literally, you get nothing but headliners just killing it. So this year it was held in New Orleans. I really wish I would have gone. My wife loves New Orleans, and what can I say? I love me some skanks, so I wish I had gone, but I sadly missed the pre-sale on it, and next year. But they went to Mardi Gras World, which is this huge kind of complex. They had a roller coaster, a Gravitron, but at the same time, it's this 3-day festival where you can constantly catch either comedians, podcasts. Literally, it's a festival. So they've got like, I think it was 6 different stages or something like that. They also have like Ultimate Combat going on, Skank Beauty pageant, talent show. It's just the biggest festival. Literally, every headliner goes to one place once a year, and it's the most amazing comedy festival. Can't say enough about it.
They've perfected the festival thing since
not
Bill Burr
Louis J. Gomez, sir.
All right, excuse me. So the comedy world has experienced a right way to do festival stuff since Bill Burr cursed out Philadelphia.
Oh, I think so. That is an infamous clip that we should definitely go over at some time. I think there might be like the crowd turning on you thing. Maybe we could fit that one in there, and maybe something else. But yeah, no, I think it's just amazing. It's one of the most legendary festivals that's out there. If you ever just like Google like Skankfest lineup, so it's weird. I know you're Googling Skank. What's going to happen? But
It's
it
not the
comes
first
from
time.
Legion of Skanks. It's the amazing trio. So you got Dave Smith, Louis J. Gomez, and Big J. Okerson. And yeah, they just kind of have this most offensive podcast in the world. And
Okay.
he
So-
decided to spin that off into a comedy festival.
With that, if I'm with friends that only like when they think of comedy, they think of Jerry Seinfeld, Brian Regan. Are they going to have a
Yeah.
good time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I so I happened to be in New York last year. I went and checked it out, but the in-laws wanted to see, and it's like, no, you guys do not come to this. And I'm glad they didn't, but it was awesome. I got to see there were like 10 comedians because they did the Skank Nativity. It was great. Rich Voss threw my wife his tunic. It was great.
I just wanted to show this comment that made me laugh. It's from Jaden. Juju Allen.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's A tier right there. Good call, Jaden.
But yeah, man. Ari Shaffir, amazing. And he is the president. There was an election held. The president of Legion of Skanks currently.
Right.
He's just
And-
out of office.
And I agree. When I was doing it, he was a West Coast guy, but I am certainly familiar with him. But again, that's my personal experience. I think normies would know that, despite being touring the middle of nowhere while he's at the store. Next, I did it again. Down. Joey Diaz. Look, he's on a
I
stage.
hope people know him as a comedian because man, he's been doing it for
30
shit,
something years, yeah.
over
Mhm.
3. Yeah, I was gonna say over 3 decades. He's hilarious, but he is in like The Longest Yard, and shit, there's like 4 or 5 other big things that he's been in,
Famous
as
stand-up
well as
comedy movies.
The Man Show when Rogan and Stanhope took over. He was
Comedy
kind of a
club stuff.
regular on there.
Mhm.
Yeah. I hope people know him as a comedian. I think more would know him as a comedian than as a celebrity. But he should be known more. He's amazing. Love me some Joey.
I think before being on Rogan, people, if they saw him on YouTube doing comedy, they might have had the same, like, oh, that guy's from this. I didn't know he did this.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did stand up. That's not taking anything away from his stand up or the years that he's grinded for years and years and years and years. I'm being honest, like, I did not know before he was on Rogan that he was a stand up comedian. That's not to say that I
No,
didn't
it's fair.
appreciate any of that. I just
No,
didn't know. I just didn't know. I just, like I said, I knew him as the guy from Spider-Man 2. And whenever I found out he did comedy and I watched him, I was like, oh, this is hilarious. It was funny.
Yeah.
Joey
I think he had
Coco
like
Diaz.
2 This Can't Be Happening episodes. I know he has at least one. And I think he did a Comedy Central Presents, I think.
I never
know he's
saw
got a
him
half
on
hour out
there,
there somewhere.
but I did see later on from YouTube that This Isn't Happening. I did see that,
Yeah.
but that was after I had found out who he was. Because whenever Rogan would say like he's like the funniest dude, and every comedian would be like, yeah, he's the comedian's favorite comedian. I was like, okay,
Sure.
so what does that mean? And then I watched, but I would say entertainer, movie guy.
Yeah. I think a normie, if he's on an episode of JRE, more people are knowing him as that in that explicit moment than, oh, he's a comedian. I think they know him. If you interview 10 people that are familiar with him, 9 of them know him from an episode of JRE or something, because it's normies, not us like weirdos.
Yeah,
As
that
Justin
doesn't take
said in
away
there,
from
he did a Comedy Central half hour. That's the one that I was talking about. I've seen much better work of his than that, but he at least has that one.
Yeah, I just never saw it. That's just, I'm just speaking from my vantage point. Now, like,
Fair enough.
I remember, then the reason why I say a lot of it is because I don't have a lot of people to bounce things off of. But when I was watching him, my wife said the same thing, but she had a different movie, and it was The Longest Yard. She was like, he does, and I was like, don't look. His nuts are about to come out.
I'm just saying, like, anytime I hear, oh, hell yeah, Theo.
It's all right. I think we decided that I can go back up. Yeah, I did it right this time. Sorry. We're not done with you, Joey.
Noise. I can't hear the word. Well, I guess it would be the phrase cocksucker without thinking of Joey Diaz. Like, I don't know why, but just like the way that he says it with just like the emphasis, just man. Not that it comes up all the time, but whenever it does, it just instantly makes me think of Joey Diaz.
See,
Dude's hilarious. He should be more known.
Troy McClure has the same thought that I do. He says,
Hey, it's that
Troy
guy from
McClure-
Spider-Man.
Hey, it's that guy from
It is.
All right, are we ready? Greg,
Yes, sir.
can
I
I
think so.
down?
Thank you.
Theo
Hey.
Vaughn.
I think most people would know him as a comedian. He's also spent years doing that. So, hell yeah. But I think, he literally less than a month ago tried to film a special, and apparently it all got scrapped. So right now the podcast seems to be going a little bit better for him. Perhaps people do know him a little bit more from his podcasts.
Why was it scrapped?
Unclear. He said he wasn't feeling it, and it didn't go as planned. So
Interesting.
I don't know. I think he's a hilarious comedian. I like some of his specials more than a lot of the other people that we've had up here. But
Okay.
I think he might be more known from the podcast recently than stand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I 100% the podcast, because I'll just be honest, like, I didn't watch Road Rules. I've seen the clip of him and Tom Segura's wife who was on Road Rules, but I can tell you when I first saw him was on Rogan, and then literally he was on every other podcast after that. And I thought when he said he had been doing comedy for like 12 years at the point when he was on Rogan, I was like, what? I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
When I say that, that is not taking away from whether or not you think that person is funny. I just want to make that clear.
Sure. No,
No,
sure.
he's hilarious.
Right.
And he's fucking
I
out
just-
there in the best possible way.
That's why I was trying to.
I just didn't know who he was.
Right.
personally.
Right. We're not scoring them based on A to F tier on their quality. Just if you ask someone off the street, this person, how do you know them? Celebrity or comedian?
Oh yeah, definitely entertainer person from
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was doing stuff on the road, but I know that he was doing it as long as we would have had overlap, and I wasn't familiar with him. And when I was, it was podcast stuff. So I would tend to say that people think of him as a podcast guy more than anything. Celebrity,
Sure.
excuse me.
You guys were opposite coasts, though. And I don't know how many.
I got as far west as Kansas at times. I was down in Vegas, but
Fair enough.
I avoided the middle like the plague, and I was not an LA guy. I did not like LA. Next, down,
Yeah.
Tim Dillon.
Oh, comedian all the way. Everyone fucking knows Tim Dillon. He's awesome. He's amazing. I think he might be the most powerful on this list. Love me some Tim Dillon.
Powerful in
Comedy,
what way?
comedian all the way. I don't think anyone knows him as the dude who was in the Joker 2 Folie à Deux. He played that one guard. And then also he was in Thanksgiving as that other guard. No, man. He's a comedian. Tim Dillon's awesome.
Yeah, I only know him as a comedian.
Yeah, I to go one step further, I would hazard a guess that some people wouldn't know his name.
Probably. He's still a headliner.
Right. No, right. I'm just saying,
know he's
off
done-
the street. Just same the Brian Callen thing. People would be like, "Oh yeah, I remember him from that thing. What's his name again?" I put my
Yeah,
own brain in other
I
people's.
could see that, because he's not. I'll say this: like I know he's funny, but he's not someone that I always remember and go
Right.
look for stuff for.
Right.
And that's I just don't. Sometimes I just don't remember. Like right now, when you brought this up, I was like, oh yeah, he's a person. I forgot about him.
He's awesome, man.
Human?
So the aforementioned Skankfest, Louis J. Gomez just wrote a book, and he happened to do like the ballsiest thing ever, and he brought in chapters for different comedians to kind of read and roast him on. It's his life story, by the way. Tim Dillon's reading of his experience of Louis J. Gomez's experience of 9/11 is amazing. That dude is just hilarious. I absolutely love me some Tim Dillon. But man, he's revered in the comedy world. I think for sure they definitely know him. He's able to go in and out of spheres. He was definitely in the Rogan sphere and in Austin for a while, and just decided no, he needs to be East Coast. So
Yeah.
good for
Another
him.
one that I've crossed paths with him. So my personal taints that end of things down. Duncan Trussell.
I only knew him as a comedian, but because I knew of him before Rogan. But I would say the regular person only knows him from podcasts and the sci-fi TV show with Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. I don't think Duncan Trussell's a household name. Dude's hilarious. He's definitely put the time in, but I think people mostly would know him from Rogan's podcast. He had a Netflix show, The Midnight Gospel, I think. It was this really kind of trippy cartoon that I absolutely enjoyed. He has amazing appearances on other people's podcasts. He's always a great guest. He has like some legendary ones on Kill Tony with a ventriloquist dummy. It's not as whatever prop comic-y as you'd think, but man, I don't think the world knows him as much, but I don't think they know his face. I think the projects that he's been involved in, it's mostly like audio or whatever. So,
right.
I don't know. I guess more of a celebrity.
I agree. Justin in the chat says Tim had a social armor during cancel culture because he's a gay man that kept him safe, calling out all the woke shit when it was at its worst. Does that matter? Shouldn't it just be whether or not you're kidding and whether or not the material is good? Like, do you need to be a part of the team for it to like be like
it should be, but I think it mattered. It gave him like a certain bit of leeway that some others weren't allowed at the time or perceived to have at the time. We needed him, and he was the right man.
I just look at that whole era as just a blur. Because it was, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and me and Grabe, like one of the first shows we did, which I wish you would have been a part of, was Can You Go Too Far in Comedy? We had talked about that for a little bit. That might be something we could revisit at some point from your perspective as well, which would be, cool to hear.
I'm almost certain I did in that clip you showed in the beginning. That good.
It's funny. I actually watched I think 11 of your. I think I watched almost a full hour and 10 minutes of you.
Is there that much of me out there?
There's a bunch of it on. Yeah. Yeah. Some of it was a little bit overlapped in like one
future episode.
5 minutes.
We'll watch it all.
But then one was like 8 minutes that had like extended more stuff. I got to see you in your gloves.
I fucking hate this. I didn't know there's 11 clips. That's too many.
I loved the second half of the bit about women. That was fucking hilarious, and I laughed very hard. I won't give it away what it was, because if we ever do play it on here, we'll talk about it.
I might remember it. I might remember it differently. It may have last been told as something different than whatever it is on the internet.
It was basically like out and a job. One is a job and one's going out.
Oh. I
thought that was funny. Ugh. I thought it was good.
Thank you. That's one of us. All right.
My wife laughed. She laughed. She was like, "What are you listening to?" I was like, "Charles, the guy I did the show with." She was like, "Really? That was funny."
No. Really, that was funny. That doesn't sound like people you talk to. All right. Anywho, I'm officially sweating. Andrew Santino,
the ginger whiskey ginger himself, Cheeto Santino. I love me some Santino. Definitely a comedian. I think he's definitely one of the headliners that people say. He sold out a stadium here where I'm at not too long ago.
Recently in Riyadh.
Yeah. So and he's been doing it for a long ass time, and he's always seen as a comedian. Like in the few things that he had, I guess that's not true. He was in Dickie, where he was not a comedian, but almost everything else, it seems like he's a comedian. For sure, man.
I think he's
Comedian.
definitely funny, but as Jaden Miller Art wrote, it's Bobby's mom. That's what I knew him from was Bobby Lee's podcast. So that's where I know him from. So like I have seen his stuff afterwards, but that's what I knew him from, because I was like, he's hilarious to me. Like he does really funny racial stuff, and I was like, this dude can't be this funny if he's not a comedian. So
Yeah.
but like this is the question of normies.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to judge because I don't know enough. I don't know enough about him. Where Gray says he's selling out a stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like where
But
obviously people have to know him to go to that.
but is that because of the podcast? He's selling out stadiums, but is it because of road work, or is it because the guy from Bobby Lee's podcast?
I think most of the people.
First off, it's his podcast. He started it to
Excuse
save
me.
Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee was crashing out and went through a relapse, if you will. And it was his attempt to get
Is it
Bobby
not-
out of the gutter.
They
Is
will
it
not
not
be your
the
friends, Gray.
Tiger
Stop
thing?
simping.
What's the show called now?
So Tiger Belly is Bobby Lee's own one, but
Right.
Bad Friends is
Bad Friends.
theirs
That's
together.
That's theirs together. Okay. Well, that's what I knew him from. So it's got to be under the same umbrella, I'm assuming. Different channels, but same umbrella type thing. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think a lot of the dudes that we're talking about, minus like Segura, probably Tim Dillon, Ari Shafir, and if I'm missing one, Gray, you might know. I think most of them, though, like I said, they went from doing the clips that I would find before they were on Rogan were in clubs, and then this clips after they're doing Netflix specials. So it's got to
There's an
be
amazing
the
song out
podcast
there by
that- Go ahead.
the rapper Crack Amico called Rogan Bump. Check it out. It's a well-known thing. You get the Rogan Bump after
that's
you're
got
on
to
there.
be from that, in my opinion.
But Santino is one of the comedians that, I mean, there's a handful on that Riyadh festival that, I don't know, are they getting stand-up in Saudi Arabia that they know these people from, or
Oh
is
no,
it
it's
Yes,
because
they
podcast?
are.
You think it is? You think they
I don't.
didn't just
I
know
don't
from
think
the
so,
podcast?
Gray. I
I
think
don't
they're.
know.
Yeah, I think they're
don't
backing
know.
into the. Oh well, we have a comedy festival coming up. What are the podcasts people like to listen to? Like
I don't
how,
think it's that though. They're all headliners, like every
How-
one of them.
How
But-
is Saudi
but I think-
Arabia familiar with Jessica Kirson?
But I think that's
She's amazing.
I agree.
Well,
That's someone I
I-
have performed with.
I think that's the thing though we're trying to figure out. I think there's might be a little bit lost in translation. It's like not that that they're headliners or that they're good. Why
What
are
did-
they
yeah.
headliners?
Yeah, who knows
Were they
them and
headliners
for what?
because of their work moving forward, or because of how the internet and like the podcasts have gotten them more popularity? Not
Right.
that is a bad thing. Is that how comedy has also changed
Right.
to where before we were talking about like you went from club to bigger club to like the improv to smaller state like indoor arenas to
Colleges and yeah.
and then you did your TV pilot and that's what got you baboof.
Right.
You
Like
know,
who thinks of Rihanna as an actress
hey,
is
I don't
all I'm asking.
I'm just saying, specifically with like Santino, man, he's been doing comedy for, I want to say like a long ass time.
Yes.
Over like 15
But-
years, I've definitely heard his name, and
Sure.
he's done a couple half hours, and he just finally had a kind of big special not too long ago.
But would a normie know him as a comedian before
think
they know
so.
him? Okay.
I think it was a Netflix special, if I am not incorrect. But I'm telling you, man, he sold out a stadium where I'm at. Dude's definitely on the rise.
You keep saying that like normies all went to that event.
They did, man. I am saying if you're watching comedy in a baseball stadium, you're probably a normie.
Yes, but I don't think you understand. Like, I understand that he sold out a stadium, but is it possible that the people were made aware of that gig because of him doing a podcast?
Oh, there's that Rogan bump for sure. But I'm just saying he was grinding at it before.
Yeah, Yes, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. Yes,
I
Jaden.
I look at like because I know what you're intending for what we're supposed to be saying. Like I'm not saying Gray doesn't, but there are guys like
You're both
listen,
implying it. And
No,
God damn it,
no,
people see him as a comedian.
no.
They know he's a comedian. They know he's doing comedy. He's got a microphone.
No, right.
in the
We're
picture.
saying I'm saying like did he get the big shows because he's popular on a podcast? Or or if he did not have those podcasts, would he be selling out an arena or a stadium?
Yes, he would.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I
In
look
my
at guys like Joey Diaz who went the opposite route. Like he got big and didn't want, you know what I mean? He still goes to clubs and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting that he's not taking the whole Netflix by storm type deal, you know?
He also didn't
weird
do
one.
the whatever you want to call it, pilgrimage to Austin.
Right.
He stayed
He
back.
didn't. Yeah. It's just
So-
an interesting type of thing though. You would think like even back when they were still in LA, you know, like that he didn't do any of those things. It's kind of interesting that he's still that guy that, you know, probably because he's still all fucked up and just doesn't tell people.
I'm a little pig-headed the way I think about things, but I always thought of LA comedians as comedians that were a bit more interested in networking and expanding their career, where I felt like New York comedians were more about stand-up. Perhaps that's just me being a bit, I don't know, putting up my New Yorker shield because all I wanted to do was stand up, but it feels like LA, you wanted more opportunities in the industry, however they came up. But I think as far as Andrew Santino is concerned, we're a bit of a crossroads here, a little conflict. So if you're watching this in the future, let us know down below what you think, celebrity or comedian. And I hope you who are watching understand what the purpose of this is. Down.
How dare you, sir?
He's taking shots. Shots fired. Yosemite Sam.
Non-stop shots fired. I know what this is about. And I'm telling you, he's a comedian, damn it.
I know he's a comedian, but what do people know him as?
So Andrew Schultz, I think even more popular. I think the COVID thing where he had, I forget what the Netflix kind of daily, it was like a news show where they went through kind of the weekly events. I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was very much like, so it's comedy. He would do a 2-camera kind of monologue, but it was very reminiscent of kind of like a more extreme form of like late night show. I kind of dig that. It's still comedy, so I'm gonna say that's probably what like a lot of the normies kind of know him from, but also really popular from Flagrant and I forget what the one is with Charlemagne the God.
Breakfast.
But yeah,
Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. What can I say? I think most people know him as a comedian, and I think he is more popular than you'd think. Schultz actually sold out another stadium near me. So
Ray, were you hired as the public attorney for the art of stand-up comedy? What the fuck are you standing so hard for this?
I think he's definitely
It's
a
not
comedian
about
all the
you,
way.
man. It's about normies.
I know. I think normies would know him as a comedian. I'm kind of going off of my wife too. She doesn't look into a lot of this stuff the same way. She knows him. She knows his stand-up. She asked me if I wanted to go. It's like, okay, she knows who Schultz is.
For me, I did not know who he was until I saw him on the internet. Till I saw him on shows. I had no idea.
Podcasts, non-comedy
podcast shows.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Here's the thing. To me, that's what it is, and I'd like to think like at the time that I saw him, I wasn't as interested in stand-up comedy as I got to be. I was before that.
Like someone else on this panel?
Like, yes. You and me have a very similar thing. Mine was a little bit more than 5 years ago, but it was, I just wasn't I didn't follow it as much as I did like in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, like Gray's getting newsletters every week. Like it's very
Well-
different here. What's happening?
So I just didn't.
I'm just saying.
I didn't know. I personally didn't. But that I would have to say for me, it would be from podcasts and stuff. For me.
Normies.
I would agree.
People,
Stuff.
I
all
don't.
I'm saying
I don't
is,
know. I
my
would have to
mom
say
has brought
that-
up his name, and she definitely doesn't know a bunch of comedians. It's because he has like 2 Netflix specials, and then he had that show during COVID where everyone was kind of in lock-in, and it was kind of giving you like joke news. It was very kind of Daily Show reminiscent.
But is that?
So I would say it is though. It's more like roast where it's written bits and he's just saying it to camera. But I would say that is in the exact same way that I'd say like the late night TV monologue is stand up.
Yeah,
I'd say that's Jay Leno doing stand up. It's very curated, but
yeah.
to me that's stand up.
Okay,
She
well, then that
she brought him up to me,
changes.
so I'd say that she's a normie. She knows who a comedian is.
That
me, I'd
change-
say the normies know him from that.
That changes the dynamic in my head then, because I look at stand up as standing on a stage telling jokes to people.
That's what he was
Or telling
doing.
stories.
It's just in a studio.
I didn't know. I
But-
didn't know.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying I personally didn't know that.
it's hard to gauge the COVID era because that was just weird New York clubs were closed. So I don't know if you wanted to watch comedy. Like I don't know because I was like, I don't care. So I don't know what the answer to that is. I'm sorry.
That's why I with certain stuff like this, why I value the opinion, because I just didn't know. I didn't know who he was personally.
Yeah. So I'll tell
like telling me that like I said, that changes my thought process on it, because if that's if Gray's telling me like his mom and stuff like that's a little bit like they wouldn't know who he was unless they knew him, so like if that's what they know him from, then I would have to agree. Me personally didn't know him from that.
I'm not sure if he got like that Netflix, the first special, because he was part of the Rogan sphere or whatever, like possibly. And if that's the case, I guess that would be celebrity boosted him into
was
that.
he in the Rogan sphere before he got the special?
I do not know.
Yeah,
I just
see, I
know
don't
like
know either,
she
but
started knowing who he was from comedy after COVID because everyone's locked in their house and people have Netflix.
So I'll tell a personal story. I spent an extended weekend at Cody Leach's house, and we were driving around. He knew about my not doing comedy, not really wanting to be associated with that world. I just kind of ignoring everything, being isolated from it. And we were driving to pick up, I think, his son from school or something like that. And Cody put on a stand-up special, and I didn't tell him not to or whatever. Like I didn't influence him doing that. And 5 or 10 minutes through the special, I was like, this is actually quite good. Who is this? And it wasn't like one of those things where I was like, just kind of nodding along. That's a good joke. That's quality. But there was a time or two where I laughed. I'm like, this is actually very, very solid, very funny. Who is this? And he told me it's Andrew Schulz. And that was 2 or 3 years ago. Considering the thing that we would say with Brian Callen, he was a comedian then. He had a special. We listened to it in a car. I did not hear any of his podcast stuff. Granted, I didn't know his name, but me being a normie in that moment, I guess it's not fair because literally it was like in my face, but I didn't think of it as Rihanna being an actress. I thought, yeah, this is it. This is a comedian. So I'm going to say comedian.
And you said I didn't understand the game. But yeah, you agreed with me. I don't know, man. For me, like he's definitely a comedian. But the fact that my mom brought him up, it's like I think the normies know him as a comedian. Like she didn't say, "Hey, do you know that guy from that really popular radio show or whatever?"
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Yep.
Yeah, I think today things might have changed a little bit. I think a lot of these people who have interviewed presidential candidate have kind of swayed things where people like, what is this flagrant thing? You know, why am I listening to this flagrant podcast? Oh, because there's a very extremely popular person that they're talking to. But yeah, again, his special was, or whatever the fuck Cody put on, it was very strong. I don't know if that was
I dig a lot of his material.
Yeah, I don't think that was a backhanded jab towards other.
But as you
Rogan sphere
mentioned,
people,
my opinion doesn't mean much because I am on the comedy advisory board. So, sorry, appreciation board.
Dude, just don't sign up for all the newsletters. Is all I'm saying.
He had all his pamphlets in his hands and he just threw them down. Fuck you guys! I hate you.
I'm going to tell my Discord group about this. Dave Smith. Greg, contain yourself now. I know. How
What can I say?
Dave.
I have seen him a ton of times as a comedian. He does not perform in the biggest room at the comedy club the last time that I saw him.
Really?
I think a lot more people know him from kind of his Tucker appearances, from his debates, and from essentially like Piers Morgan and the stuff.
Mhm.
I think people
Famous
know
comedy
him
club?
more for his political opinion than his comedy, but Libertas is pretty based. I dig that special that he was able to produce. His the Gas Digital half hour from last year was not nearly as good. But yeah, he's definitely a headliner. He's a comedian, but I think more well known as a celebrity now. Which hell yeah, any advocate for libertarianism and weird anarchy, I'm down for. So
I'm proud of you, Greg.
he is a founding member of the Legion of Skanks, which I will always give skank hands to. You can't see it now with my I'm doing skank hands as we speak. Love me some Dave Smith. Sadly, no. You do a little
Justin?
skank face with it. It's kind of like the heart with your hands, but then you just curve it in a little bit more so that you're doing a skank hands. Anyway, I love me some Dave Smith. He's always a comedian to me. I think the public knows him more as a celebrity.
You're making progress.
I agree with pretty much everything he said, because I knew that when Gray mentioned the Legion of Skanks on the last one, he was the one that I knew.
Yeah. And another one.
But I agree with everything he said, though.
Right. Another one where appearances he's made in the last year or so really kind of sways things, where it's like, oh, the guy argued with Piers Morgan on that famous comedy special.
Well, he made an appearance at a comedy club near me this last year, and it was hilarious. Okay, I got to shake his hand, and it was pleasant.
The smaller room, you say, right?
I appreciate. It was the nearly biggest room.
Did they not have open micers that night?
I think it wasn't Matt Rife, but it was someone where it's like, oh, really? Like he gets the big room. It was still awesome.
Did he open your jar of mustard?
He did not, but what can I say? I may have gotten a picture with him.
That's awesome.
Good times, man.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I like
him and Robbie the Fire Bernstein, man. But yeah, I think people definitely know him more from his Rogan appearances and his debates.
Gray, what is the term for people like you? I know it's not like Band-Aid for music. What is it like?
A comedy appreciation board. Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to laugh. What can I say?
You're not a groupie.
I'm not a chuckle bunny, if that's what you think.
Chuckle bunny. There's the Chuckle Hut in outer Kansas. Right next to the Great American T-shirt Factory.
Charles, you didn't weigh in on Dave Smith.
I think podcast. I think because of
you did. I'm a dick.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry.
Celebrity. It's fine. It's fine. Like we flustered you with Dave Smith, and you actually had to say the right thing to say, which is most people probably know him as a celebrity.
As a loyal Legion of Skanks fan, I gotta say, love me some Dave Smith.
They're not watching. You don't have to worry.
Oh no, they're not. But I just feel my duty to say that. As for Shane Gillis, man, 100% comedian. I think the only thing that comes close is like his Bud Light commercials. Maybe more people know him from that. But man, he is huge right now. He is doing full-blown stadiums, not just the one near me, but like real stadiums and selling it
Full-blown
out.
ones.
Full-blown, not kind of stadiums. They're going to open the dome area for him.
Oh, shit.
What can I say? Shane Gillis is killing it. His last few specials have been amazing. And then maybe people know Tires, but I think even that is getting less kind of praise than it deserves on Netflix.
Dude,
if you
some of
like
that
his
is
branded comedy.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Some of it's
but
so funny.
I love it, man. Beautiful Dogs. It's great. Go check out his stuff. But everybody does.
I agree. 100% comedian. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. I would say of the people that we're discussing tonight, this is probably the strongest in every aspect. This is probably the best comedian on the list and the most well regarded and known as a comedian. And yeah, I think of this batch that we talk about tonight, this is probably, it's a shame he doesn't have his own podcast. I mean, he does have his podcast, but
well, it's a secret podcast.
His own club.
Not a lot of people know about it because it's Matt and Shane's secret podcast.
I meant to say Rogan level Spotify deal where he gets to open his own club. Maybe in a state near you, Gray, all those square states that just have so much life on the map.
He's definitely very funny, like
Yes.
super funny guy. And I think his material too, even when he talks about some darker stuff, he still has it presented in a way that anybody can listen. Like every single person can relate to what he's talking about because the subject matter is so broad.
Right.
So like I think he's awesome. I think he's really funny.
Right. And I think that's the how a truly good comedian can prove their weight is being relatable.
And anybody who turns down SNL in this day and age has my vote. It's like you automatically have my vote for doing good things.
So we're in unified agreement here.
That might be something that's worth seeing in the future too. There's kind of two guys who got fired and then were asked to come back and host SNL. It might be worth kind of looking at both of those. But,
yeah.
Good
Dice
time.
didn't get asked to come back.
Dice.
Andrew Dice Clay.
He said, "Bada bing, bada boom, leather jackets, pop your collar." I'm like, what?
Oh.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
So I think he is definitely more known for Kill Tony. I would consider that to be comedy, but are you going to be? Are you going to call it more of a talent show type deal? Would you call it more of like a Howard Stern-esque
Did
thing?
you look at my paper? Because this is the comedian I wanted to discuss this with. Yes, he is.
I didn't. It just depends because hey, what up, Lunchbox Warren?
Hey, Warren.
Everyone, go check out his comic. It is Global Comics. It's The Adventures of Sig and Joe. But Tony Hinchcliffe. So I have seen him do his stand-up. That's not what he's necessarily selling out arenas for. It is a version of Kill Tony. I think what he's doing is still stand-up. I consider roast to be stand-up. I like a lot of what he's doing. It is off the cuff. It's in front of people. It's a dude with one mic, but they are kind of judging a talent show. And
is it one mic or is it 4 people sitting behind a desk?
I mean, he's not using multiple at the same time. It's
there's 5 mics on stage at that point.
He introduces everybody. That's a solo part, and then I don't know.
So he's the MC.
Yeah, I think he's more of a Howard Stern type. He definitely has together his whack pack. He's done a couple of specials, but there is one that is kind of being wiped from the internet, and then there his full length one that hey, we all partook in. Perhaps we'll talk about that in the near future.
Yep.
But yeah, to me, he's definitely more known for that show. If you're not considering that stand-up, which I would, so I would say he's known for stand-up comedy. But if you're not, then he is more known for that. So,
but I guess
celebrity. If you're not, is that where we're ruling on it?
I think
Tony's not comedy or stand-up, I should say.
I think he's most known for roasting. like normie people would know him from appearing on roasts for
Mm,
Comedy
Tom
Central.
Brady.
Do you consider roast comedians?
Yeah.
Like, are we going there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely comedy, 100% for sure. Like, I think that's where most normie people would know him from, are the roast appearances, for sure. And appearing on Netflix. I think Kill Tony is a comedy show that has stand-up comedians come in.
Mhm.
And like whether they're known or not off the street, whatever. But I don't know if he does stand-up comedy on the show. It feels like it's someone. Lunchbox said it's the America's Got Talent, but only 1 minute stand-ups.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So, I mean,
it depends. If David Lucas is on there, it's
no, for sure. They always
100%
have like
guaranteed they're going to
golden-
roast each other.
Right.
Yeah.
It kind of depends, but he does also do his own stand-up. Oddly, he's a little bit more of a storyteller. I think when I saw him, he had like a 15-minute closer that was on his first threesome, which was interesting.
I'm just
He's
trying to
definitely
gauge
gotten
where-
better
Good. Sorry.
since the one that we all watched. But if you're not considering Kill Tony like as a comedian doing that, I mean, they have had like Ric Flair as a guest on there. They've definitely had people that aren't comedians.
So,
If you're considering that more of a host,
to use a comparison,
he's known for that.
To use a comparison to America's Got Talent or something, by that logic, would you consider Simon Cowell a singer? I mean, he's
No, but
judge.
I would consider Howie doing comedy on there.
So you think when people tune in to America's Got Talent, they're like, "Oh, I want to watch Howie do stand up."
Comedy. I didn't say stand up. It also says Rogan Sphere, comedian or celebrity, not stand up or celebrity with Mike. So that's why I wanted to clarify before we started, because
There's no microphone in this picture, Gray.
I think we all definitely agree he's more known for Kill Tony.
Right.
So
to throw a little piece
if
of
we're not considering that,
to throw a little piece of garbage onto the pile, he got really popular in the news for being at a convention for a presidential candidate. And I
but
think
he was doing comedy there, stand up, real stand up.
how many times have comedians performed at a presidential?
Far less than they should.
Not at the presidential ones, but they have been known to go to like the Democratic convention. The Farley did the Republican convention. Like stuff like that has happened. But like I would say, like I said, for me, I found out about him because of roasts, watching roasts on Comedy Central. And I look at that as a comedian, like blasting other people. So I'd say comedian personally.
Okay.
I think I'd go the same route, and I'd argue that and Kill Tony is one of the biggest things in comedy right now. Perhaps you might see it as a fad, like a Dane Cook type deal or something, but man, he's been plugging at that for like over 15 years. Like they used to, man, they've had a lot of like the greats on there. Like Stephen Brody Stevens was on there and just killed it as kind of, they used to have The Wave, as well as they've inspired a whole lot of the other kind of, what would you call it? Like backup acts for a lot of other things. They've been super influential in the scene, and he just kind of kept at it. I think he deserves credit for what he's done for the comedy scene. To me,
no, for sure,
comedian
for sure. I just don't
what
know
they
if
know
he's
him as.
performing like stand up on that show though. Like it's some of it's comedy, right? Like
I'd say it's a comedy show. It's
right.
To me,
But,
I gotta go. People know him as a comedian, not as a celebrity.
So people are tuning in to Kill Tony to see exclusively him. Everyone else on the show is just.
I think I think
the
most
guests are usually superfluous.
I think most people know Kill Tony because of him, because Kill Tony's been going on for a very long time when it was just him and Brian Redband. It was going on for years. And then it got popular enough to where they brought in other people. Like, so I'd have to say it had to get popular enough to get on Netflix, right? So like the show had to have been doing something before Like
Yeah.
that's how I say it. I'd say the roasts for me, and I look at it's comedians roasting people. So I have to say comedian.
Yeah. So my chat's a little spicy about this. Justin says 4 comedians on stage laughing at their own jokes while an open micer bombs.
He called them comedians, though.
They're judging open micers 1 minute of comedy. He deserves credit for making the comedy scene worse. Question mark. Yeah. I seem to be the dissenting opinion, but I think people probably know him as a celebrity because, like, to use the America's Got Talent thing, if there's a music act, what purpose does Howie Mandel serve? If there's a children's dance thing,
He's the
you're
comic
watching.
relief.
Yeah, but like if he wasn't there, the show would still happen. I mean, I get it. He is the Tony of Kill Tony, but I don't know how many normies watch Kill Tony like that. Again, I'm talking about normies and the fact that he opened for a presidential candidate, and that caused quite a bit of fuss in the news. For the
And that
sake
was
of
just before he did a 3-night stay at Madison Square Garden as well.
uh-huh.
I'm just saying, man.
Hmm.
I hear what you're saying,
The
but
show's a big
I would
deal.
consider it a comedy show. But if you don't, I get it. I get why you don't. It's
I'm
not
the odd man
stand
out
up
here.
per se.
It's fine. I'm the odd man out here. But again, if you're watching this in the future, in the chat or comment section, let us know if
Tell
you're
me I'm
normal
wrong.
or not. Listen, I'm the low man on the poll here, so I'm just looking for backup. Oh, now I can't. Down. Mark Normand.
Comedian.
Comedy.
The comedian.
He's got one of those deliveries, man. Like it gets stuck in my head, kind of like a Dave Attell or like a. There's many of them that like that. I can't hear hey without thinking of him. Anytime anyone says comedy, it's just comedy. To me, comedian. I think everybody who knows him knows that he's just out there literally doing like 6 shows a night. Dude is crazy. And he ends every set with the Kevin Hart, as Jaden mentions in the chat as well. I love me some Mark Normand. I think everybody that knows him as comedian, not as a celebrity.
Comedian.
Okay.
But you might know him as a celebrity real soon because I believe he has a show in the works where it seems kind of interesting, but apparently it's going to be audiences of all one type of thing. It might be. I hope it kind of takes off. It sounds like it's an interesting premise.
Again, I keep in mind my 5+ years of obliviousness. I only know him from the podcast scene. So whatever that's worth.
So what do you know him from? Just like the Joe Rogan thing, or you at Tuesdays
Yeah.
with Stories, man? We might be drunk.
Who are the other ones on We Might Be Drunk?
So it's him and Sam Morril.
What's the other one?
Joe List is the one on
Yes.
Tuesdays with Stories.
That's the one I know him from.
Love me some Joe List, man.
This is the last one on the list.
Oh, God.
Ms. Whitney Cummings.
There's just she's in the wrong business. Put it that way. She should have been in like 70s trash porn with that name.
You can change a name.
You can. You definitely can.
She can be really funny. I feel like for a while she went kind of crazy, but I'm trying to think what most people would know her from. Like essentially, Two Broke Girls is based off of I think her story, and then there was another one. I can't remember. Crystalia was in it.
Oh yeah, Whitney. It was called Whitney.
Oh, Whitney. Thank you. I don't know if. Yeah. So Justin points out that she's not exactly part of the Rogan sphere. I think they did part at some way, but she was.
She was for a while.
Yeah, blame Google on that one. I just went on Google's top 15.
She was for like 2 years.
Yep.
She's definitely had some big episodes on there. I don't know. So Jaden's saying that Norman isn't in there. I don't know, man. He's part of Protect Our Parks, which is like the big one that includes Shane Gillis. I'd say he's definitely in the sphere.
Full disclosure.
But he is the one who gives Rogan the most shit, and it is hilarious because Rogan really doesn't understand it.
So full disclosure, I searched, I said Rogan Sphere comedians into Google, and what we're talking about right now is the list. And we'll finish this off with Joe Rogan. But just for people understanding, like this wasn't, we didn't have like a meeting of the minds. This was explicitly Google that just said, here's the most popular from the Rogan Sphere. That's literally what I typed in, Rogan Sphere comedians. So
stupid
Google. No.
I don't know if
sorry, I don't know if I should read that.
I don't know if
aloud.
a lot of people know her as a comedian, but I don't know if a lot of people know her from like that Whitney show. Like it got canceled because a lot of people didn't see it. I mean,
people don't know
she did pretty good on Rose. She's definitely written for Rose before as well. I don't know. I'm not sure, man. This one, I don't think my mom could recognize her or anything like that. She's probably the most normie that I know. My wife happens to absolutely hate her. So anytime she's on anything, she's like, oh, I hate her. It's like, yeah, I know. I don't watch a lot of Whitney, but I think she can definitely be funny. She is ruthless on the roast. I definitely dug that, but yes, people would more know her as a celebrity. I don't think she's known most by normies, mostly as a comedian.
Sir, normies were pretty in tune with the Hawk Tour podcast, and Ms. Whitney Cummings was a integral part of that series. I don't know.
I know her as a comedian because of the roasts. That's what I knew her from. So I would say that's probably where, if you're watching roasts, Comedy Central, I'd say that's pretty normie. So that's why I'd say that would be my guess.
Okay.
Would be yeah.
Another rare occurrence where I have overlap. There's a Venn diagram with me performing at the same time she was. Again, another LA comedian, but
so I'm the asshole on this one, the comedy appreciation one. For some reason, I'm saying no.
I only know her from roasts. Like that's how I found out about her. So that's why I would think, because since I've seen her on Comedy Central, I would assume that's pretty. I don't. How do I word it? That's pretty. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to word.
It's fine. But so. Gray, I was going to say, as far as normies are concerned, as far as I'm concerned, in my 5-year blackout window, I'm the last thing I saw her on was the fucking Hawk Tour podcast, and seeing that she was helping. Yeah, I forgot her name already. Miss Hawk Tour with whatever the hell that venture was. So I think because of that, there was that I knew her from, and her I don't know, choosing to say something publicly during one of her other podcasts about Chris D'Elia, which
that's been kind of fun back and forth, those two kind of fighting and sniping at each other.
So I would say celebrity, but this is another one of those instances where I'd say, who is that? I think people might know her face, not her name.
I think so. And she has gone to different ventures. She did try to do a sitcom. He did get attacked by a dog and had to kind of take some time off as well.
She got attacked by a dog?
Did the dog see her stand up?
Oh.
It was not a fan. No, she had an animal rescue, and animals can be unpredictable.
Oh, her dog.
So she had an unfortunate incident. Yeah.
Okay.
So she had some time off, but I don't know. She's always funny. So I don't know. I'm
we're
a
not,
fan. I know her as a comedian, but I think a lot of people know her from her other ventures.
I want to
as comedy appreciation. I have to put that out there.
Want to re-stress, we're not grading the quality of the comedians, just what a normie would think. Not a normie thinking, oh, that's a terrible celebrity. That's a great comedian. Just, do they think celebrity? Do they think comedian? Is all.
I don't.
You don't
think a
have
lot
to,
of normies can name a lot of female celebrity comedians, I should say.
that is also true and fair. So, and lastly but not leastly, the name himself, Joe Rogan.
Oh, we're not going to get a picture of him, like him
No.
with a stool, perhaps with his legs up.
I mean,
There's so many
I
to
would
choose
say,
from.
I'd say most people, like he does best as an MMA commentator. I think that's where his strongest work was. But
About
his
Fear Factor.
but I was gonna say Fear Factor was very huge and watched by 20 some million people every week. And his podcast gets hundreds of millions of downloads. Like, so
Mhm.
I mean, I don't I think he's best at MMA commentary, but I mean, his podcast numbers dwarf anything that he's ever done.
Yep.
So you just go by those numbers alone, and even the people that don't watch UFC or anything know him from his podcast. That's not saying what he does the best. That's just where most people know him from.
Sure. And that is the rhetorical question for the episode. If you were a normie off the street and you were asked about this person's name, what would they think of them as? A comedian or a podcast star? A celebrity is this umbrella term for podcaster, social media person, whatever. Ray?
Oh, okay. So you're gonna go last. Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's a lot of people that watched Burn the Boats when it came out and it was their live one. Like they tried to hype it up. He was hyping it up. Even then, I don't remember it making it to like number one or anything like that. It seems like it definitely didn't get as much attention as they wanted. And, a lot of people couldn't name any of his bits. He isn't exactly known for that, but people can definitely talk about the clips that they've seen from his show, from his podcast. And man, he is, I would say, the most well-known UFC commentator, as well as that. He is the one guy who I've seen make people eat the weirdest, worst things that they could possibly want to. And I think he's just well known for all of that, as opposed to like any bit. If I put you on the spot right now, I don't think you or anyone from the audience who considers themselves a normie could come up with one of Rogan's bits right now.
Mm. Yeah. So over on the Willis Greedia channel in the chat, we had a live poll, and I agree with the poll. It's not just because it was over on my channel, but I will give you the results. Coming in at number one out of the four choices, with 48% of the vote, was podcast host. I think people know of Joe Rogan as a podcast host most above all else.
Yep.
Number two
Sure.
on the list at 28%, MMA commentator. I think that's fair as well. Number three on the list with 21%, being a Fear Factor host.
It's a legendary show.
Sure.
And no, I wouldn't consider that stand-up on there, in case you're wondering.
And you dick. Last of the four choices, with 3% of the vote, stand-up comedian. I don't know if I would go that harsh, but
Well,
I do think of him as
people know him as. Like
Right.
I can tell you like of like 6 people that I know didn't know that he did UFC. Like they were like, he does UFC. I was like, not as much anymore, but they knew him as the Fear Factor guy.
Yep.
And he got a super popular podcast.
Yeah, I think all of his success right now, like in the comedy sphere, people are giving him credit for like making, he owns a comedy club in Austin. Like he's gray with money as far as the art of comedy is concerned. I think he's a romantic for the art, but he wouldn't have that opportunity without podcasting, without his MMA commentary, without Fear Factor. And he didn't get around very much as far as touring. Like he's been doing this for decades. I never crossed paths with him. It seems to me like he was always like a LA local. Like he would do stuff at the store quite a bit.
For sure.
And I don't know. It's like I'm sure there's a ton of comedians out there that they're known for something else. And Joe Rogan is just like super popular.
Well, the one thing that I would differ in everything you said that he owns a comedy club in Austin. I would say he owns the comedy club in Austin.
Fair enough.
But other than that, yeah, I completely agree with everything that you're saying. He's not known as a prolific comedian, but he is known as a prolific podcaster. I think it would be kind of stupid to lean into the thing that's not being as successful. Like, why not? This thing that he thought was just him and his friends bullshitting, like originally on his couch and then in the back room at the Ice House. Man, like, why wouldn't you lean into that?
Yeah. Madness says in my chat, he stopped touring years ago as he was fed up of it. Also, why he stopped doing all UFC events. He's fed up of traveling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you get up in age. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I barely like going out of the house.
No, listen. Trust me. Listen, someone who stopped because of COVID just absolutely said, "No, I'm not leaving anymore." I understand it, but if anything, if you watch that Burn the Boat special, that is someone who did not test that material out on the country.
Supposedly he did. He said that he got to try it out with the Austin audiences, and he got to go back to the Comedy Store, and supposedly he went to a bunch of different places, and he worked out every last second of it so that he knew exactly how every last syllable he said would land.
So he worked it out in the Comedy Store, which is essentially his home away from home, and other places in Texas.
From what I understand, yes, but mostly his home club.
I think a lot of people in your part of the world, in the square states, would take issue with that. And I think where the real comedy is happening in New York, I think the audiences there would let you know whether or not something works or not. I'm being very
real comedy. Oh man,
I'm being very vitriolic and stupid.
I was really scrounging for it, but Louis J. Gomez, the aforementioned, Skankfest host and 1/3 of the Legion of Skanks, he actually recently got into like kind of a Twitter beef with Tony, where Tony said like all the good comedians are in Austin, and he was kind of beefing, saying like, no, they're in New York. I don't know. I was scrambling to try and find that, and I wasn't able to before the show, but I'm glad you came prepared instead. But
I just said we should
compare some of this, because I don't know, man. I do think New York has some real heavy hitters, but you just called it like where the real comedians are. So I don't know.
Well, they're not where I live, so I can tell you that.
Well, there's some Austin guys who can compete, and Austin has Roseanne as well. I mean,
brother.
She's a heavyweight. It's Roseanne.
Wait, did New York officially lose Jim Brewer to Austin? Because that helps. If you take,
maybe Jim Brewer, but you still got Jim Gaffigan.
I'll take him. If you take Jim Brewer off the New York roster and put Jim Brewer on the Austin roster, that is like addition by subtraction there.
Fair enough.
Is he based in Austin now?
I do not know. It sounds like he could be, but I have no clue.
I think, like, again, this is just me being completely oblivious. Again, full disclosure, New York-based comedian. Most of my material was spent in that tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area there. Pennsylvania counts too. But so I'm like showing my favoritism. But
it says as of 2025, comedian Jim Brewer is based in Naples, Florida, where he lives with his family.
Okay.
So nobody gets it.
I was totally wrong.
And that's just what it says on Google. So, I'm just saying it could be wrong. It could be wrong. It says he's born and raised in Valley Stream, New York, and previously lived in Chester Township, New Jersey for many years before moving to the west coast of Florida in August of 2021. He's tours globally with his Find the Funny tour and hosts a weekly podcast. Blah blah
The
blah.
search
blah, blah.
continues.
But that's what it says. It's Brewers based of Naples, Florida.
Okay, so no one has him. That's a loss for someone.
So I don't know. Jacob seems to be on the Louis J. Gomez train, saying
Right.
anyone who says Austin beats NYC for comedy is delusional or
Dude,
trolling.
So
Uh,
what?
I think
Tell
they're
Tony,
trying to
the
make
biggest
it.
comedy podcast ever. You've got we're going on from here, but there's a lot of them. Ron White's there now, the legend.
So I think like this can certainly be a discussion because I think it's interesting, and I could reiterate the issues. I think New York is more comedians that are just focusing on stand up. LA is comedians, but if an acting gig comes in, then that's what I'm doing now. To me, it feels like Austin is, I want to say the N-word, retard, and talk about transes. Which comedy atmosphere can I do that in and feel safe? That's
can-
what.
Good.
Go on.
I
No, no.
mean,
I was going to say
that
it feels,
every week in New York. I got to see him do it live last Christmas. It was great.
I was to say it. I think they're trying to make Austin the place where someone says, I'm going to make it, and where the people say they would make it is, usually for entertainment business it would be California. Comedy, it was always New York. That's
All right, so
Where-
I guess
that's.
I
I'm
got to
just
come
saying
in
that's
here
what-
repping Austin next time. Okay.
No,
So
no. I didn't say. I said they're trying to do that. I'm not saying that it hasn't reached that point. I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know. I haven't. This is the most since me and you, Grace, started this before we had Charles on. That's when I started looking more into the comedy sphere of everything. So this is all getting, pushed back into my brain, and a lot of it has been Austin stuff. But I agree with Charles. Right? That he and Lunchbox Comics comment where it says that Austin sounds like MSK's show.
indeed.
And I'm not saying that's all they do,
Right. No.
but that's what I hear associated with them.
Right.
Where it's not saying that that's all the comedy they do, but I do hear it where you can go and you can say this, and this, and not worry about it.
Yeah.
Fair
listen,
enough, but,
Gray, if you want to grab the bull by the horns for that, and
I will.
yeah,
I shall introduce you to the Austin Tourism Board.
Oh, we'll definitely
By
have,
the end of next week, I'm sure we'll all be moving there. I'll champion Austin, but also
But
bring up a roster
I
of
will
heavy
not.
hitters from New York currently.
you don't have to be this doesn't have to be an episode of Trios, mind you. Although maybe it could, I don't know. It's just an interesting theory where where does the real comedy stand? Like where would you get the best comedians on a given night? And I'm sorry, I don't know of another club in Austin. I can name you 4 clubs on a Wednesday
You don't know
night.
the Sunset Strip?
In Austin?
Yeah, it's hosted by it's run by Brian Redban. So they've seriously got like 10 clubs like right there. in
Really?
that
Okay.
same
I heard
kinda
that
strip.
the Red Band place has a lot of toilets.
The street could be your toilet depending on where you're at. Yeah, they got kind of a homeless problem there, and they're crazy homeless because it's
Oh.
real hot. They bake out in the sun. But
Yeah.
there's a real potential for some people. There's also like a shitload of kind of I don't know, smaller venues where they're just willing to put up kind of like an open mic.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So
It-
my
It's different.
so they've only been there what 2 years now in Austin?
I think it's
3,
more than that. I think
3, 4.
Rogan might have been there like 5-ish years or something like that.
So even for calling it 5 years, I think there's still a bit of time for comedians to flock to Austin to have that be, where they want to be. But if you're in New York City on a random Wednesday night, I can't tell you how many showcases I did where Seinfeld just strolled in to work on something. Louis Black, Louis C.K. Like this is shit. Like
Yeah.
bullshit open
It's
micer night, and you're getting quality
half
guys
years.
who's dropping in. Two and a half years.
It debuted on 6th Street March 7th and March 8th of 2023.
Yeah.
So, but it took him like 2 years to build it. I think he's been down there like 5 years or something like
No,
that. 'Cause,
he's
like,
been
they
down
were
there
doing
longer.
Kill Tony there for
I was
like
just
like
talking about the mothership of the
sure.
club.
Yeah.
But they kind of kept siphoning comedians down there. Like Tom and Christina went down there. They got Kill Tony down there because like a lot of the places were closed during COVID. So they kind of convinced them that Austin is this town that'll let you kind of do anything.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked. But that being said, Mark Norman, who's one of my favorite comedians that we talked about, he's on Rogan's Protect Our Parks version of one of his group podcasts. But that dude, he is notorious for doing like 5 or 6 sets a night. He talks about the only place that he could do that is New York. And he is like, directly leaving one spot, grabbing a train or a bike or whatever, and just booking it to the other side of town to do another spot. And then he's got another one like across the street from there.
Right.
He can do a couple shows a night in Austin, but it's not the same thing. There's nothing like New York.
Right. And again, there's this 5-year plus gap for me. So I like Austin wasn't even a viable option the last time I was performing. So
it's up and coming, man. I think it might surpass LA a little bit, but we'll see.
For comedy exclusively, I feel like
exclusively. So, and venues.
Considering the thing that Lapsed heard that I kind of referenced and was joking about, if you're a black trans comedian, do you think you're going to break in that room?
Probably not.
So that's a little upsetting.
But I don't know. Like Tim Dillon is
gay. Sure.
A regular there. He is a member of the LGBT community. So I don't know. It's not like they have like an exclusionary thing, but you're right.
Yeah. I mean,
I know Ty Rivera, who is one of my favorite LGBT comedians out there. He was banned from the mothership. And he's talked shit on them, and they've kind of talked shit on him. Yeah. But supposedly it's not the fairest practice to everybody who goes in there.
Yeah. So like I'd like to discuss this because there's things that I think the mothership at the very least has done things that really feel for comedian kind of thing. Like, having those wander bags, you can't have cell phones. If someone's working on material, you don't have someone getting, so all of that stuff that Lap stole of Mia on the computer, that wouldn't be the case if I were working shit out in
Come on, that was all part of your one shot.
I stole it. Crimes were committed.
I do not approve of this.
Well, I could take it off.
No, it's fine. I'm being an asshole. It's out there.
That's why I said I had a surprise for you.
but I think there are some things that are a bit of a detriment too, where if free speech is the true thing here, then I think anyone who wants to take the stage and has talent, that should be the thing that is celebrated most. And there is this, I don't know, this stigma that's going around. Again, this is just me based on 1 week after watching fucking Brendan Schaub's Gringo Poppy. It could be very algorithm based, but it feels like there's this Austin versus the world thing. And
well, you're not wrong, because even Rogan has said whenever he opened the club, he opened this because he wanted to have comedians he wanted to have there. I'm not saying that's not changed, right?
Okay.
That might have changed, but that's what he said. He said he wanted a place where him and his buddies could go and do stand-up. And then that's what he said at first, but then it turned into, now I have this great place where I can feature comedians.
Yeah.
But at first that's what he said.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't call myself woke by any stretch, but I wonder if I was trying to break that room, if I would. And that's kind of odd. If you watch some of my old stuff, there's words I say that I wouldn't be comfortable saying now. So it's just strange that I would be reluctant to try to break that room. Which, listen, we're talking about the Rogan. Well, I guess technically this is still part of the Rogan sphere, but we can do an episode where we talk about L.A., New York, Austin. It's a shame that Chicago is just kind of getting overshadowed here, but that's more of a second city improv type shit.
And we didn't talk about on this show, but we did talk about last week about not being allowed in the green room there. So
yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
You have to have your mothership card, like Starbucks. I appeared this many times on the Rogan podcast. Get it punched once every time you go there. I got 7. It takes 8. It takes 8. You ain't allowed in here.
I think there's something to that. Like there's some sort of essence of like being called over to the couch by Carson, but just having the green room be standoffish from the start. Like that's like you have the right intent, but the way you're executing it is a little funky.
But New York had that too. Like there's the infamous table where it's like,
and the cellar.
You couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't actually go to the table. Like you had to be essentially like invited.
Well, at the table.
You were brought in there though. Like if you just some schmo who wanders up to it.
Well, that's
but comedians can sit there.
Comedians, right? Like, I thought they could, but I don't know enough. I don't know enough. So, but I have heard about actual from comedians saying that they went there and they weren't even allowed to go in there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and that's funky. That's funky to me.
And I think also it hurts too because we had talked about this before, where we don't have like a Letterman or a show that's that strong anymore, right, where these guys get featured and brought up, and it's like, I don't know. It feels like yes, it's changing. You could see these people more and more and more, but it was special. I don't know. Yeah. Whenever I saw someone new and I liked them, the whole journey of like seeing them and going and finding their stuff or waiting for that special to come out.
It's all wide open now. Like,
right.
You have
it's like you almost hear everything before they put the material out.
Right. Right. Yeah. And Warren says the benefit of going to Austin is getting on the Rogan podcast, not the mothership.
For sure. But at the mothership is almost guaranteed to be sold out. Like there's very few shows there that have remaining tickets. It's kind of a destination thing at this point. So I'm sure that doesn't hurt, but you're right. The Rogan bump is going to be way bigger than the mothership. But hopefully you get both while you're there.
But I mean, if you're a comedian, I would hope so. Like if you're doing the Rogan podcast and you're there in Austin, why wouldn't you be at the mothership? That sounds crazy.
Because somebody more famous is there. So, you could do Little Boy, but you can't do.
Would you be allowed in the green room then?
I mean, me personally, probably not.
You got to have that punch card. Gray, they'd let you in, dude. How often do you meet a sentient jar of mustard? I mean, this is like, you would be the feature in there.
Yeah, what did you call yourself?
That'd be cool.
Not a Band-Aid, but for comedy?
Comedy appreciation.
The chuckle honey.
A chuckle twink.
Oh, a chuckle bunny. I am not a chuckle bunny. What can I say?
Yeah. So we all watched to kind of swing back to Tony Hinchcliffe for a second. We all watched something he's trying to erase off the internet, which is titled One Shot.
So this isn't the one that he's trying to erase. He had a half hour. I want to say it was like, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but that one kind of got erased. It was like a Netflix thing. It's hard to find that one now.
Oh, okay.
But One Shot is his one from like 10 years ago ish. Yeah. I think it was 2016 or something.
Yeah, 2016.
And it's literally what it says. It is a one shot, and
it's rough,
complete with like the cliched ending.
It's cliched, all right. I get it.
I was just waiting for the guy to take his hand out of his back and reveal that it was a fucking puppet the whole time.
It does look like a ventriloquist doll. Dummy, if you can get over that,
there's so long.
There's some golden nuggets in there though. Like I gotta think like so I think his opening bit, which is pretty long,
Oh
deals with
yeah.
a one-eyed guy, but it also deals with kind of like a roast joke that's delayed, like a delayed roast.
Yeah,
And
on a
that
timer.
concept to me is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Was
I really
was it
like
funny
that.
though? Was the when sleeping cat
Yes,
funny?
I laughed at so to me it
S-
is,
so
but
wait.
it's
Okay.
So wait.
imagining him in a sleeping cap where it's like, okay, like that's Elf on the Shelf. Like,
So
oh my God.
you're okay with waiting 10 minutes for
I
a laugh line?
So no, the way that he told
Okay.
it, sorry, my dogs. Okay,
That's
I
fine.
think they quit. Somebody killed the dogs. We're good. So yeah, I don't think that juice is worth that squeeze, so to
Right.
speak, but I think there's a golden nugget in there.
Sure.
It kind of reminds me a lot of like when I listen back to like the music that I recorded, it's like, oh, I should have known to edit. Like there's some really cool bits in there, but man, is it hard to listen to this whole piece to get to that. Like it's
Right.
not worth that.
I
I wish
go
I
on.
could see it from the eyes that I have now. From seeing some of his future bits, he does get way more concise.
Sure.
But then again, when I saw him, his closer was a 15-minute bit about him having his first threesome, which it probably went on a bit longer than it had to as well. It is hard to kind of kill your darlings. I know I had a problem with editing.
Sure.
do you think that sometimes stuff like this is ruined because the way that you think about comedy in general, like you look at it differently as opposed to maybe just taking it for what it's worth right then and there, like how you said like he has gotten better
Probably.
and he has it
Uh,
because
Probably. I like
okay.
Tony, so I'm looking at
Mhm.
this like as a fan watching it, like,
And
oof, this isn't his best material.
Okay.
So yeah, fair enough. I think I am definitely biased in
mhm.
this. That being said, there's some interesting stuff in here, but I think it's kind of the reason why you want a special to be special. Like you don't just film every single set and then release it as a special.
Yeah.
Granted, he had like somewhat of a nice camera, like it's a choice how it looked. It's not just somebody holding up a cell phone and then you're releasing that as a special.
I don't know. Technically speaking, it's a hell of an achievement doing a one shot thing. Sure. So you have that in the world. Great. I think it's aesthetically unpleasing to have like a roaming camera thing that just kind of makes you sort of seasick. I don't know what the what the essence is of doing that like that, other than to just do it like this is one shot. We're gonna have the camera floating and not really. Considering he does crowd work and stuff, I don't know. I think if we were gonna lean on the technical gimmick of having it be a one shot, um, light it differently, have some sort of choreography. If you're gonna do crowd work, manage to like it just doesn't feel rehearsed, and that's kind of the beauty of a one shot is nailing everything. And listen, it's a hell of an achievement. It's interesting. I wouldn't think of a stand up set as something you would want a one take of, because um you know part of stand up specials, some of the better elements of that is having different takes, having a juicier rendition of that joke to edit in there. Um,
100%. A sweeter crowd. Like if it
sure.
hits a little bit better, maybe you've got a slightly different tag. Maybe you're just not so uptight because you have 3 shots at this.
Right. Right.
Um, I
And
think
one
that's what
go on.
makes a special special. Like
Mhm.
when you look at Rogan's thing that we also all watch, the Burn the Boats. I
Mm,
mean, he's using real cameras. It looks like a real production on there, but still, it doesn't feel. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but it doesn't feel like a comedy special. It feels like I'm just watching a comedian in a weird way. Like it takes the special out of it.
sure. Sure. Like if I were watching that on Netflix, like, oh, I don't know if I'm watching after the it's just jokes, folks. Like that is rough. Listen, I've lived it. Don't get me wrong. Like I have so much sympathy for all the shit that I've watched in the last week. Like I get like sweaty. I've broken out from watching kind of awful stand up in the last week. Like I live
no.
it like it's
Gringo Poppy gotcha.
Gringo Poppy and Miss Look in My Eyes.
Look in my eyes. Look at them. Okay.
Owned
I hear
them.
what you're saying. I don't think it's a great comedy special or anything like that. I think it's just an achievement, a snapshot of where he's at. He could
Sure.
do a live hour, and that is a version of that that's captured. I don't know. I look
Yeah.
back at like some of the live recordings that I have, and it's like, yeah, they're not great. But when I look back at like my entire like catalog of not just like stuff that I have, but like all the CDs that I have, I think the real albums are something special. And then I have live versions of the albums, but I don't view that nearly the same. Like it's always sounding a little bit thinner. It's always I didn't play this quite
For sure.
right.
Right,
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of viewing this and Burn the Boats
Yeah.
as.
A
I would
special should be a culmination of your writing process. Like this is it. It's ready to go.
Right.
Like you
but
watch Louis C.K. specials and then watch that.
But they still made the choice to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That was their they were confident enough in the material to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Now you could do it for just the novelty of doing it, but I think at that point in time in your career, like that's the novel, like
Yeah. Again,
well, the Rogan especially. I'm not going to judge the Hinchcliffe one,
sure.
but the
But,
Rogan
like-
one, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
Dude, you literally have your own room to work out in, and that was not polished. Like I feel like comfort has something to do with the degradation. I'm not saying that Bill Maher was ever a plus act, but oh my God, he I can't name you a joke that I chuckled at in the last 10, 15 years of his, but it seems like comfort has made him, less eager with his act. Meanwhile, you have like Bill Burr is still knocking shit out of the park, and he's doing well financially. So I think there's something to say for comedians that are still, I mean, Louis C.K., unfortunate some of that stuff is actually true that he was joking about, but a very polished act all the same. I think there's a difference
He's
between
made a
like,
comeback too.
right?
I don't know. He seems to be accepted back now, which is yeah. He's doing more stuff, and he did new stuff on that even, which was interesting.
Yeah, like Justin says in chat, Louis made it popular to do a new hour every year, excuse me. And these other guys don't have the strong enough material to sustain that kind of work rate. I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah.
Like if they were to do it every 5 years, I don't think they have strong enough material. There's
For sure.
like if we were doing a tier list on comedians and their quality of writing, I don't think Rogan is anywhere near the top
No,
at all.
no, of all comedians.
Yes.
You're talking stand up, no. If you're talking about like furthering comedy, I don't know, man. Like if it's not for the mothership, I don't think there would have been this.
Gray, are you going to
Exodus to
actually
Austin.
every single topic I bring up? Because writing, as far as writing comedy,
You should have been in
Rogan.
your white knight. You need a cape for it too.
If I can white knight Rogan for a second, okay? The influence he had on comedy is much bigger than writing a little joke that you're going to forget, okay? You've forgotten all of his other jokes, but man, you're not going to forget the mothership. You're right, though.
Who wrote the 7 dirty words you can't say on television?
Definitely not Rogan.
Oh, do you know who it was though?
Yeah, it was Carlin.
Oh, that's weird because like he wrote a little joke and you remember it by its title and you remember who wrote it. That's so
Oh,
strange.
yeah.
He didn't open any clubs or anything. That's so odd that happened like that.
Well, do you remember the 8 minutes of saying the N-word bit? I remember
No.
that from Burn the Boats. Oh, okay. Well, it was when he talked about somebody had a clip of him saying the N-word for 8 minutes. I
You
thought it was
just
kind of
saw
funny.
it yesterday. No.
Today.
2 days
It was a
ago.
couple hours ago, but fair enough.
No, like
I forgot the entire special,
Right.
to tell you the truth.
So- So as far as the premise of doing good for comedy, yes. As far as writing quality, yeah, listen, doing good for comedy, it's a different tier list. Writing quality material, Rogan's not on this hand. He's not near the top. On this one,
I mean, are we talking all material or just stool humping material? Because
so you know what? I'll give you that. All material. He's a quality
Okay.
writer. All material he's written.
no, I just meant like, are we going like every joke, or could we like do a niche category? Because I think as far as stool humpers go, he's towards the top.
Is that writing really?
I mean, it's an
Well,
act out,
he had to
really.
put the cue in. You know, he had to put the cue in there. So this is where I stool hump. So it is written.
All right. So that could be a fun episode because I'm sorry, Gray, you're wrong. Joe Rogan is not a great writer.
I didn't call him a great writer,
Oh, you're like,
unless we're talking about the
actually,
niche of stool humping jokes and act outs.
Are you
Then
counting
he might be
talking
towards the
about
top.
dolphins? Because how many comedians talk about dolphins?
I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to call him a great writer or anything like that.
No.
But
And that's all. That was the point. That was it.
he's
And
one of the best kickers, though. I wouldn't say he's a bad writer to his face because,
no,
goddamn, he
nor
can
would
kick.
I. Jacob giving you shit too. Jacob in the chat says, "Look, I understand Jim Jones is a controversial figure, but he was very influential.
People loved him. They trusted this guy. Okay, you
Love to have
wouldn't
a
even
drink with him.
How many people do you think you could get to drink Kool-Aid?
I know of at least
Not enough.
2.
Not enough.
No, they're not going to have Steve Town anytime soon. Although, no.
So, to go back to the rhetorical thesis question of the episode, do we think the Rogan sphere as a whole is more known to normies as stand-up comedians or celebrities, podcasters? All of these things, podcaster, internet presence, all that falls under celebrity. Stand-up comedian is just stand-up comedian. Do you
As
think?
a whole
Yeah, just the entire
entertainment podcast for normies. Yes.
right. Gray?
As a whole, you say. I think I had the majority comedian on there, so I'd go, they've definitely parlayed being on the Rogan Experience to becoming known for comedians. But yeah, if we're gonna take a good chunk of it, I would say definitely they're more known for the podcast. But man, I think I had more yes than no in there. So I will go just barely to the yes category.
You're an interesting breed there. Yes. And yeah, it seems like the chat agrees that they're known for their celebrity to normies more than their comedy. I mean, it may be down the road. They may be like, oh, this guy from that JRE episode, I watched their stand-up special and that was kind of interesting. That first step is always, not always, but more times than not, it's something that isn't stand-up that gets them to their stand-up.
Yeah, even if they
question.
did it before, even if they were doing it for years before, like I said, for me personally, there was a lot that I didn't know.
Right.
So
Fair enough.
Also, I think it depends on your level of how much you're looking, how much
Sure.
you're out there scouring. It's hard, like for Gray, who's very into this and has been doing this for quite some time. You know what I mean? Like he knows a lot more than I do. He knows a hell of a lot more than I do.
Most of us.
It's like it would be like if we were sitting here, like talking about comic books.
Mhm.
Like I could, tell you things that you're just like, what? Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yep.
And he just knows more about the subject and the more about the
Right.
topic and the subjects.
Mhm.
So I think that plays a huge level into where said person from.
Yeah. I
Trying
think
to be a normie. I'm sorry that I'm a chuckle bunny. Okay.
No, dude, that's not. There's nothing. I meant that in the nicest way because, like I've said, one
I
of the
didn't.
reasons why I wanted to do this whole thing is because of the experience of the people above me.
Yeah, it's
Like
a very
it's yeah,
interesting dynamic we have here as far as relationship to comedy.
for sure.
Gray, you were
Helps me cope. I enjoy it.
I think it works.
So Blu-ray Madness said you guys need to do an episode reacting to British comedy.
Ooh.
I know you haven't been watching a lot of like U.S. comedy or American comedy, but have you been watching British comedy? Are you familiar with like Kevin Bridges, Sarah Millican, or Jimmy Carr?
So Jimmy Carr, yes. Jimmy Carr's over there now, though. So that's interesting. There was a moment there last year or 2 years ago where I flirted with the idea of taking the stage again in the UK. And my wife has tried her best to get me into like there's a handful of names that like she keeps kind of trying to force feed stand-up comedians to me. Mnuchin, Minchkin, Tim Minchin.
Oh, he's so great, man. He's got some amazing songs, but you got to be kind of into. He's a personality. Love that dude, though.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm specifically standoffish or isolated because of the idea that like I don't want to have. I mean, if I were to try to take the stage in the UK, I think it would help for me to figure out what works here. But I'm not against it. It's just you have to keep in mind that there's this weird thing, this like power divide inside me that like so far I've watched a lot more comedy in the last week than I have in 5 or 6 years. I wasn't one when I was touring. I wasn't one to like watch comedy because it was like, get me away from this. I just witnessed 16 hours of comedy in 3 days. Like I don't want any more of it. But shit, I forgot what I was saying. God damn it.
Well, it doesn't look like
British
your next
comedy.
week coming up is going to be that much fun for you either.
It might be. It depends.
That's true. It depends.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Have you kept up with like Jimmy Carr? Like he
I'm
might be.
familiar with Jimmy Carr.
Oh,
I was gonna say he might be one of the biggest ones to come out of there, but yeah, I don't know. So he just did the Riyadh Festival, and then just after that, I happened to see him. He came to a symphony hall in my town. It was kind of fun, but yeah, see somebody dressed all proper, speaking so dirty.
yeah.
I
I
enjoy
know
it.
Jimmy Carr is a comedian because of the clips.
Mhm.
He would always do something like making fun of someone who said something to him, like not necessarily a heckler, but you know what I mean. Someone would yell something out, and then he would totally roast them, and it was like the nicest, most proper way, but it was ruthless.
Yeah, the closest
Dude,
thing to
he's
Don
great.
Rickles I could think of alive right now.
And you
Is
call
Jimmy
me
Carr.
Yeah.
old, busting out the Rickles.
I don't call you that,
Oh.
sir.
No, I
Rickles is amazing, though, man. He's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're looking for the next best thing right now, it's probably Jimmy Carr.
You go there? You wouldn't go like Jeff Ross? He keeps getting called an insult comedian instead, which is, I believe, what Rickles was under.
And I think some of the chat has, questions it's outside the Rogan sphere, and maybe we could do those,
Sinbad.
because they're asking, someone had asked, let me see where did it go? Jacob has asked, do you think Eddie Murphy is better known as a celebrity or comic?
Fuck.
Someone else,
Celebrity.
Unfortunately,
Blu-ray.
When's the
asked-
last time he did a comedy special?
1980.
Unfortunately, I think. But like
5?
he had the puppets at the end of the doc. Maybe he's going to do a puppet show.
And then-
I would count that as stand-up.
So we do have, questions that are there from, the chat. So I think that's
So-
something interesting to
Well,
Go
it goes
past
further.
the Rogan sphere.
Yeah, it goes past
Go
that at
one
some
more
point.
down, though. The real question: Sinbad, comedian or celebrity?
Well,
Neither.
I will tell you
know
this.
Sinbad from?
Can I
Neither.
tell you this? So I knew him obviously from movies, but does anybody remember the Sinbad talk show?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the MC that called him out?
I do not.
Okay, me and my brother thought this was the funniest thing. So this must have been like 97, maybe 96, 97. He'd be like, the MC would be like, and now coming out, the man with the high butt, Sinbad. I swear on my life, the high butt. What?
Just remember the like ski pants or whatever the hell he would
Man with
wear.
the high butt.
But yeah.
What?
I don't remember that. He's in a beloved one of mine. What is it called? Like House Guest or something? The
You're wrong. You're wrong. Adam, thank you for being a member. He states, and rightly so, obviously we all know Sinbad from Shazam. That's what we know him
Exactly. From the thing that doesn't exist. That's
Phil
so
Hartman,
true. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people argue with me about that. Or like the Berenstain Bears. It's Steen. It never was. Stop it, your silliness.
We're
He's
in a
right,
simulation. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Adam. Yeah, there's certainly like guys. Who was it that took 50 episodes before they really started? Oh, Rogan. So we have a high bar to reach. With there's only episode 2, so we're working the kinks out. We're gonna have things that will be a bit more normal, a bit more regular segments on the show. But tell your friends. Let us know in respective comment sections, because the algorithm is where we get all the I don't know, suggestions, the praise. It gets spread to other people.
Tell us where we're wrong.
yes, please do. Open
At least
a discussion.
One of us, probably me, was wrong. So let me know where.
Yeah, Doc says 97. Oh yeah, I wasn't old enough to be watching TV.
I was actually responding to Doc. I was like, damn, I was 21. Fuck.
Old enough to vote and drink.
I was old enough to drink. Yeah, like we would hear that and we would laugh so hard, because like the Arsenio people, the people in this audience would be going like this. It's right about here.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm gonna definitely get the clip somehow.
Okay.
And that's how we're gonna introduce Charles every week.
So you
opening up cans of worms.
Yeah. Fucking hell. So shit. Someone commented after the fact on a stream from last week, and I don't know. Well, you've already seen my material. So someone commented on like the VOD of last week's episode that for punishment, you should compare one of my sets to Brendan Schaub and count how many punchlines there are.
Ooh. Well, I can say this. After going through a bunch of your stuff, I genuinely laughed, and there were jokes. Here's the thing, whether you like it now or not, if we're talking about the subject matter,
I'm not fishing for compliments. I would I don't want to be there.
It would. Oh, you're going to be there. It would definitely be you by a mile. Yeah, that would be interesting. We could have like the little counter.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry.
You were just reminiscing about, having to be punished by watching yourself and do a laugh counter. Which one has more laughs per minute?
Money needs to be involved for me to be taking that punishment. High butts can be a positive, depends on what someone is into. Yeah, but
you might have to Google it. Just Google Sinbad, the man with the high butt. See if anything comes up, because it was every show. It was every show, and like we didn't have cable. We had like a working of hangers and foil that went up to the ceiling towards the window, and we got like 4 channels, and that was the only thing that was on.
The phrase "the man with the high butt" is self-description used by comedian Sinbad, David Atkins, in the introduction to his 1998 book, Sinbad's Guide to Life, Because I Know Everything. Oh my
So there you go.
goodness.
I
There you go. So
don't
he was
like
using,
knowing that he has a
using
real name.
using it before the book, man. Think of that.
Yikes.
It crossed
He's
over.
like Carrot Top. He can only be known as Sinbad to me. Like I don't like that I can now say his name is David.
Ooh,
No. No.
I like this comment by Adam. This is actually a perfect comment. Will, you're gonna be the guy from Clockwork Orange being forced to watch your stuff. We're gonna get you the eye things and get a dropper person.
Like, I guarantee you, no matter what piece of material it is, there's a different variation for me to tell that joke now. Like, that's the
And I also think you've ruined Doc. Doc,
Yeah.
Right?
What do you think? What do you mean his name is in bed?
Just rewind the last couple of minutes.
All right, so
But
that's this episode. It seems like at the very least, we kind of figure that the Rogan sphere, for the most part, is known as something other than comedians first.
Mhm.
Gray, battle is admitting the truth.
I am not going to admit this. What I think is they have used that Rogan bump to really be known as comedians. But I
Sure.
respect your guys' decision and
You're
the fact
talking
that
about-
you overshadow me in your votes for that they're mostly celebrities as opposed to comedians. But
Gray,
fair enough.
we're saying the same things, just out of order. What you're saying is stage 2, they find out that they're comedians. But stage 1 is, oh, the person from that podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take
Tell me
that.
where I'm wrong, people. I kind of disagree.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, please open a conversation for those of you who are watching in the future. Gray, I think, go on, Laps, I'm sorry.
And one thing I would appreciate, whether it's on my channel or say, comment on the outro and intro. It will be changed a little bit. But tell us what you think, if you like the whole motif or if you think it should be different.
I think it should be different. I think there should be clips of Gray doing stand-up.
I could film myself talking to no one. I can do it for you.
Listen, it's humiliating. I'll take it. Gray, I think you're taking the ball next week. We had a couple ideas here just now. Do you have something figured out otherwise?
Yeah, so 2 things. I'll give you option A or B. So we could talk about Matt Rife's, holiday crowd work special, which I know are 2 of your favorite things. 3 if we include Matt Rife. But the other choice is we could talk about New York versus LA versus Austin. I think there might be more meat on the second bone, so to speak. But perhaps that first bone is chiseled. Who knows?
Laps, I'm kind of okay with either, to be honest with you.
I will say the Rife thing only because
it's new.
We can get it out of the way. The more we prolong it, the more I'm gonna have to watch Matt Rife.
Yeah, that's his name's come up a couple of times for multiple reasons. So, yeah. Oh, Jaden says Matt Rife for Christmas special. Beef won first. Beef won first. Oh, he's talking about
the between
L.A.
I'm fine. I am fine with whatever we choose.
Yeah,
to be honest. I'm cool with the New York versus LA versus Austin.
Yeah, I think if at the very least we should do both of them, even if we don't do one of them upcoming, both of them over the course of time.
Well, let's see. Next week is the 16th. And then the week after that's the 23rd. That's perfect. If we do
You
those
want to
two,
do Rife for the 23rd?
Be right before then, before Christmas.
Gray, you're right with that? Rife on the 23rd and intra-city beef for next week?
Yeah, I think Jaden had a great point. Yes, we will do what Jaden Miller Art said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be our Christmas. But now, are we dressing up for Christmas?
Yes, I think we have to.
Gray, you have to be on camera. If I'm putting a fucking Santa hat on, you're going to be on screen. None of this
Oh,
mustard shit.
What if I put a little hat on my mustard?
I could do AI shit too.
I can have some holly in the corner.
I think you will be surprised at what you will be seeing from me.
Ooh.
Maybe a
You
Chris.
have to wear clothes. You have to wear
Oh,
clothes.
no. It is. It is. Believe me, dude.
All right, let's
Believe
do this.
me.
Yeah,
I don't even. Yeah. Just yes.
for the Christmas special. I'll be on camera. We can go in costume. Let's do this.
Yay.
Awesome.
Laps, what do you got coming in the future?
Friday, we're doing last panel. I'm not exactly sure what we are doing, but I'm going to talk that over with Gray. If you want to come, you're more than obviously welcome. And then what we'll probably do with that is decide what we're doing for this week and then next week. And depending if people want off, because I think the next one after that is the 26th, the day after Christmas, I'll be on because I always do a Christmas special that nobody has ever. I have never had one live viewer. And I hope to keep it going. So don't show up to Labs Comic Fan channel if you see it. I always do this like holiday special where it's like sad me opening up tons of stuff and nobody watches. It's great. It's a fun time. But I'm focusing on this channel and doing stuff for Thank God It's Tuesday and last panel. And me and Lunchbox Barn are going to be starting to review comics on Laps Comic Fan and his channel. I think we nailed down Monday for that, but we're gonna work everything out. So we will be doing some comic stuff. So if you're interested in that, there you go.
It's not clickable. I don't know what the fudge pack I did, but if you just type that in the at thing at the last panel 1 in YouTube, that should.
I tried to just get at last panel and it will not let me do it. And there's no other channel called last panel. It just will not let me do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Tried so many times changing it. I'll even try it again, but hopefully it works.
Gray Poupe.
Yeah. Yeah, content soon, but if not, every Thursday, check out The Thinkers. It's an international panel of people who get together, disagree about everything. I don't think we have a set thing for this week, but I'm sure we're all going to disagree, and you'll get an international perspective. Come over, join us. You'll see some.
We'll never match last week. That's for sure.
I enjoyed last week's episode.
I did.
I thought it was great.
We had the best guest we've ever had. So if that intrigues you, go on over to YouTube at That Darn Kidda and check out last week's. Perhaps come over for this week's Thinkers every Thursday. And then, of course, you can catch us all here, the last panel on Friday. Maybe something in the near future. And got some movies to watch for that. That's all I got going on.
Yeah. The most talented person in this house was on Thinkers last Thursday.
She did a great job, man.
She did.
I thought she did great.
Anytime I have stuff that's prepared and edited and written, you can figure out who's helping writing that stuff. So I watched a couple of things. There's a thesis video that won't be up in the month of December. There's something that maybe won't be up. There might be a Poison Ivy video in the month of December, but I've filmed something, not Poison Ivy, the fucking Batman character.
No, I know what Poison Ivy you're talking about. You're talking about Boobies Poison Ivy.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore, just a little too young. And filmed something that might be a parallel release on Savage Cinema, which is a Who Would Like That video on Lilia Forever. And thanks to Laps for that. That was a good Christmas cheer movie for those of you who are looking to be less than happy.
It's uplifting.
Yeah, that will be that would be probably up the soonest of the prepared material. I saw you in the chat, Justin. Holiday season is really rough for syncing up 5 schedules. I don't know if we're getting a debrief in December, but other live stuff, Thinkers Thursday, I'll probably be here on Last Panel Friday, and then here again next week for TGIT.
TGIT.
Yeah, so you have the wheel, sir. I can't shut this down. You gotta turn the lights out.
Yeah, if you guys can comment on the outro and intro and see what you guys like. And for everybody here, thank you all for showing up. Thank you, Charles, for everything that you're doing for this channel and all of us. And Gray, as always, awesome, man. I appreciate
Hit the buttons. Do all the
oh,
things.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm waving.
It's a time for laughter. We have the guys to filibuster, even though one of them is a jar of mustard. Thank God it's Tuesday. We take a look at comedians, and Charles used to be one. We have a lot to say about can you believe Gray is a jar of mustard? And then there's Lapsed. What does he do? And why is here? Thank God it's Tuesday.